An appeals court in Belgium has ordered the state to pay reparations to 5 mixed-race women forcibly taken from their mothers and placed in orphanages in Congo.
This case involves 5 women who were born more than 70 years ago in what was then the Belgian Congo. Each of them was the child of a white father and a black mother. The court said that as young children, they were taken from their mothers in a systematic act of abduction by the Belgian state, solely because of their origins. The girls were then placed in religious institutions where they suffered further abuse. The court ordered Belgium to compensate the women, all now in their 70s, for what it called an inhumane act of persecution.
The BBC's Warren Bull. The reopening of Notre Dame this coming weekend will be a high-security affair with a repeat of some of the same measures used during the Paris Olympics. After more than 5 years of reconstruction following a fire in 2019, invitation-only ceremonies will take place Saturday and Sunday. Townhall.com. Recess appointments could put President-elect Trump at odds with conservatives on the Supreme Court.
Republicans will control the White House and both houses of Congress come January. Trump and his Republican allies are talking about going around the Senate and using temporary resource appointments, which last no more than 2 years. Invoking that authority could result in a fight that leads to the Supreme Court. In its 234 years, the Supreme Court has decided only one case involving recess appointments. In 2014, the justices unanimously ruled that Democrat President Barack Obama's recess appointments to the National Labor Relations Board were illegal. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
American consumers are scouring the internet for online deals as they look to make the most of the post-Thanksgiving shopping marathon on this Cyber Monday. It was back in 2005 that the National Retail Federation coined the term for the Monday after Black Friday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes, welcome back.
December 2nd, new month.
Indeed.
We're full on in the Christmas season now.
We are.
We just got through the Thanksgiving, which I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Indeed.
But back to the grind.
It was
for a couple weeks.
It was quite the adventure. Heading to Oklahoma. I only almost died one time on the way there.
Just almost once.
Only almost once. It was because my car has a rather large blind spot, and if you don't fully check said blind spot, there's just who knows what hiding in there.
Like a semi-truck?
Well, I tried to switch lanes because there was a livestock truck in front of me. This is around Freona, Texas. And here comes an F-150 just hanging out in my blind spot. So I veer back into the lane. Dude in front of me decides to slam on his brakes. So I'm like, oh, this will be fun.
Oh.
So I veer into the other lane just in time to avoid it. It was, the kids were awake after that for the rest of the trip.
Right. Well, but other than that escapade, how was the overall trip to Oklahoma?
It was great. No fist fights in the front yard.
Nice.
Little bit of
win.
A little bit of a stomach bug that seems to be making its way around the family. I have not been bitten yet, thank God.
It is a sharing season.
It is indeed the season for sharing.
It sure is.
Boy, did we.
Yeah, that always seems to happen around the holidays. It's just at some point somebody gets sick, and then everybody gets sick.
Yep.
Well, but good overall. Got to see family.
Very good,
Food was good. Everybody, nice to see everybody, and
got to fulfill the traditions of watching the parade on Thursday morning along with the dog
bits
show.
and pieces.
Got to it's one of those things that I get to sit down with with the kids and show them all the different stuff. Rhiannon's fascinated by the bands, but it's hard because my nieces and nephews, who are the triplets, and my niece Ella, they're all older teens now. 17 for the triplets and 19, almost 20 for the older ones.
Yeah,
there's sort of a disconnect there.
Yeah,
it was they would
much
rather
not cool anymore.
They would much rather spend time with their boy and girlfriends than with Uncle Sean and his crew.
Yep, you're old man on the porch now. That is the thing. So.
But it was nice. It's nice to hang out on the porch like that. It's quiet.
It is. It's a good place to be. Slide over for you.
How was yours?
Good.
Yeah.
We went up to Albuquerque there and had a good time and did what everybody else did. Ate copious amounts of food and watched football and had a great time with family. No fights, no fisticuffs, nothing like that. So yes, equally as good there. Overall it was nice. We went up Wednesday after the show and then we went back Friday. Friday late, or I don't know, you say late Friday morning. Maybe we'll go with that number. And then headed back and then got ready for football. Of course, congratulations to the Roswell Coyote football team.
Yes.
As they, he's got a...
Onward Roswell, fight unto your fame. I'll fade that out.
Do you know all the words?
I do. Touchdown every time. Onward Roswell, fight on to your fame. Go Roswell, fight Roswell, win this game. Fun fact, it's also the Wisconsin University theme song.
So the message is
the Badgers.
Go and fight.
Go fight and win. Yeah.
Win, go, fight.
There's a breakdown where we go.
Message received.
Dun, 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 go, dun, 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 go red. So yeah, it's
nice.
Go and fight and win.
Yeah.
Well, they did exactly that.
They did all those
Saturday.
Hopefully they don't hit us with a copyright strike.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're the show.
They did those.
We pay lots of money for that stuff.
They did those three things in that order. They went, they fought, and they won.
There you go. Nice. Well, congratulations. It was a great game.
Yeah.
They conquered. Even
that was a fantastic game. A lot of back and forth.
I was here in the studio listening, but according to Art and Kelly, as they were calling the broadcast, they said it was not an empty seat in the house out at the Wool Bowl on Saturday.
Being there was
you were there on camera.
That was a treat.
You were up there. So it was pretty much every.
It was almost like being at a soccer game where like the boos that you would hear from like the Roswell side was like overwhelming.
Okay.
Right. But it was
a game. It was an actual game with stands and people full of people and actually reacting. So it sounded like
it wasn't an empty seat in the house.
It was a hot crowd.
Yeah.
A very hot crowd.
Nice.
And I'm sure Artesia's side was full too.
Yeah. There were no slouches on Artesia.
I saw a lot of stories on the social media about traffic being bad heading back to Artesia.
Yeah, I bet, and they weren't none too happy either.
They weren't too keen on sticking around from what I heard. But it was a great game. Both teams played well. I mean, obviously only one team can win, and it was a great game. And congratulations to the Roswell Coyotes with winning that state championship.
Absolutely.
And, of course, the Bulldogs. Obviously, they wanted that blue trophy, but a great season as well.
100%.
Of course, they win a lot of those, so they're not going to be happy this morning. But it was a great game, and we had a great turnout online, too, where we couldn't bring you video because we didn't have the rights, so we put our audio up on there.
But that scoreboard bug really comes in handy because if you're checking in,
you forget scores and stuff, and you hadn't, or you missed what Art said. What was the score? I missed it. But whatever. But anyway, with minus the video, between the two because we do two versions. We do one with our guys, Art and Kelly calling it, and then we have one with Joby and Robbie. They're nice.
They're fine.
They're our guys too, just not on this particular conversation.
Right.
But Equally our guys, just not in this conversation.
Mhm.
But anyway, so we had two broadcasts, and between those two broadcasts, I think when I looked yesterday, I haven't looked at the numbers this morning, but I think combined it was like 28,000 views.
Wow.
Between the two broadcasts, and that was yesterday afternoon when I looked at those numbers. I haven't looked this morning, but
nice.
That's a lot particularly for a non-videoed broadcast. It was literally just the audio and the score bug there.
Yeah.
So thank you to all those that tuned in. I'm gonna hope most of you were out of town. I get it. You had to work something, but you couldn't be at the Wool Bowl, so you tuned in that way. So, but if you had the ability, I'm going to take a stab. You're out at that Wool Bowl on Saturday. So, but it's great game, great job by our Roswell Coyotes.
Now, I don't know if you could catch a glimpse of it while listening on the radio, but there was a if you
hard
were
to really glimpse things on the radio, Roy,
or whatever the audio
Maybe caught a
equivalent
pickup of it.
Yeah, I'll just mess with you. Go
whatever
ahead.
the audio equivalent of that is. But being there was a moment that was my favorite where they started playing, because it was like the day before December 1st, and they started playing "All I Want for Christmas" by Mariah Carey during a timeout, and everyone was like, you could hear the groan across the entire
Well, I think
stadium.
people play a game, and you just knocked out several thousand right there if you were playing.
That's not exactly.
She's finally broken out of her ice prison.
I gotta admit,
it's not. It's
who
no Gary
did that?
Glitter.
I think whoever chose that song, whoever it is, and you know who you are out there. I don't, but I know a bunch of people do. I'm pretty sure that was their homage to they wanted to rickroll the crowd.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and Mariah Carey is the official. She's the rickrolling of the holiday season.
100%. I'm officially in the danger zone too.
You are.
I heard both over the weekend, but it was
Speaking
before.
of danger zone, is there a Kenny Loggins game just for this?
There really, I feel like there's that's celebrated around the 4th of July.
I know. Yeah, exactly. You're here playing with the boys. You're out. Followed by highway to the danger zone.
Yeah, we're heading down to the danger zone. But yes, I heard both the Wham's "Last Christmas"
Darude
and,
Sandstorm.
Yeah, and Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas," but it was before December 1st, so I was safe there.
You're just under the bell.
That's right. I was risking it too. I was.
Well, technically, everyone that was at the Wool Bowl on Saturday safe too, because that was November 30th.
That's true.
Sunday was the 1st. You're still in.
That's true. The place that where my sister lives is there's internet's sort of a luxury item. So I was using my phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot for a large portion of the weekend. So I wasn't able to. I left the house without my phone, and I'm like, I have to listen to the radio. So I surfed around and found the Christmas music station. So I was really risking it yesterday, driving around.
Yeah, you were
trying to.
You're playing a little Russian roulette there.
Yeah.
I must admit.
try to test the waters just a little bit. Put the candy cane gun to the head and see what happens.
There you go. But yeah. So so great game.
I think we all owe Coach Lynn an apology. Because I think the beginning of the season was kind of rocky.
What did I do?
No, not you specifically, but like everyone was kind of like giving him a hard time because it was a rocky start.
I agree with you because they started. If you'll remember, they started the season with a tie because of weather issues and because of essentially just lack of stick-to-itiveness with the other team. They started with the tie, so it was a real rocky start. So, but I didn't doubt.
And then there was a Lovington
Coach
game
Lynn.
where he got into it with the refs and they lost that game, ended up losing, and people were like, that's just,
What?
People were looking, they didn't have a very good...
Yeah, do your apology, because I'm going to talk.
No, I was always on his side from the very beginning.
I believed in you, yo.
I don't know what, I don't want to get into all that, but I will say this. If you're giving the coach a hard time because it was, a rough start or whatever, I was like, you're really not a true knowledge person of football. I mean, because let's face it, this district is one of the toughest districts in the state of New Mexico. Artesia is equally as good as Roswell. I mean,
Yes.
let's pull,
No.
I was
I'm saying
genuinely...
those two teams played each other back to back to back 10 times in a row. I bet somewhere around 5-6 wins each, or somewhere in that ballpark. It'll be about, they each win it about half the time.
Right.
It's Goddard. granted, Goddard's in a new program, but they still get the playoffs. First year, new program. That's a strong program.
That is.
Lovington is the Artesia of 3A.
Mm-hmm.
they are an amazing franchise. You know, they've got a long history of stuff.
Right.
So people that talk like Roswell's supposed to just roll through these teams, they got another thing coming because they are equally talented teams and these are very good programs across southeast New Mexico and even through the state of New Mexico. And by the way, these aren't your players on Sundays. These are high school kids. They're 16, 17-year-old kids.
Yep. Guess
what they care about? 16 and 17-year-old things. And you know what? Sometimes they do a rope-a-dope or to quote Hunt for Red October, a crazy Ivan. And then they do things. And you don't know. And so people that say things like that really are just
there's no such thing as a foregone conclusion in Southeast New Mexico football. It just doesn't exist.
That being said, he did an amazing job and another fine season for the Coyotes.
Absolutely. And back to school for the rest of you.
That's right. Probably should get the show officially going here. We're going to replay some interviews for you today. It's first day back, tipping a toe. No one's eager to come talk on the radio today. So we're going to replay some interviews for you. Here in just a few, we're going to play our interview we had back on the 25th with the ladies from Alpha Home Care, Sonia Bolaños and Sabrina Omerovic. They were talking about some programs for seniors available for if you need like home care assistance and things. There's programs that you can get that for free. And so they talk a lot about those programs for folks here. So it might be something could help out some people listening. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to go into the home world. We had an interview back on the 26th with Eli Rodriguez from Lone Depot, his normal monthly visit. But joining him was Terry Baca with Housing New Mexico and talking about some programs to get folks into homes, being home owners instead of home renters. And then I dipped into the vault a little bit a couple weeks ago. Greg Birch, artist, joined us, giving us an update. So I wanted to play that for him. Hadn't heard from the guy. Just started seeing some posts from this weekend. He's been dealing with some medical stuff. So I was happy to see some of his posts back on there, checking in the world here. So I said, you know what? Let's play his interview today and talk about some of the things he's working on. Actually, it kind of goes into December with his some of his paintings and things. So we'll play that for you in the 9 o'clock hour. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 50 to 55 on the afternoon high today with high pressure over the Four Corners and the Central Rockies. We'll be getting sunshine. Overnight, a little fog possible for a few areas. We'll be in the low to mid 40s. And then for Tuesday, we're expecting more cloud cover. Quick low pressure system moving through. No rain with that, but we'll be in the upper 50s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, went to the thing and then didn't go to my page. Actually, I'm going to refresh that. That is not the freshest. That's fresher. Currently, 34 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76%. Winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Looks like for the week, we're going to be floating in the upper 50s, pushing low 60s, depending on the day. Today, sunny, 57 for a high. Winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 this morning. Shifting to the south later this afternoon. Could see some patchy fog tonight, mainly after 11. Otherwise, increasing clouds with an overnight low of 46 degrees. So not really getting too cold tonight. Winds out of the south at around 5 miles per hour, probably for that fog stuff. That's why that fog thing's going to happen. Speaking of fog, you could wake up to some of that tomorrow morning till about 11 a.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a high of 57 on Tuesday with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night with an overnight low of 40. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Once again on Wednesday morning, waking up to some areas of fog. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Early, gradually becoming sunny with a high of 62. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, partly cloudy, 58 for a high. Friday, partly cloudy and 62. And then looks like we'll be in the low 60s, 61 on Saturday, but jumping up to 68 on Sunday, so pushing 70 there. So overall, not too bad. Those temps, I'll take that. Not too cold, not too hot. Kind of a creamy Goldilocks of temps this week. All right, 7:22. Let's get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. Then we're going to take a quick break. Then we'll play our interview with the ladies from Alpha Home Care. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A big December run this week with a good selection of all classes of cattle, especially high percentage of high-quality native weaned calves with condition. We expect to sell 2,400 head. Break it down like this: 100 to 125 weight cows and bulls, 75 to 100 pairs of bred cows, 2,100 to 2,200 calves and yearlings. Today's sale would include 15 to 20 cow-calf pairs, mostly black, white face, Charolais cross pairs, 3 to 10 years old. 507 steer calves, Ken Smith Ranch, Hobbs, New Mexico. Reputation quality black, white face, red, white face, and Charolais cross calves out of Vermilion Angus bulls and Bill King Hereford bulls. Cattle weigh 90 days, 3 rounds of shots, medium condition, bunk broke. These steers are sorted into several loads, near load lots. 500, 650 pounds, high quality set of weaned steer calves. You'll like these. 295 calves, 2T partnership, Pecos, Texas. Reputation quality 90% black, white face crossbred calves. Cattle weigh 60 to 120 days, 3 rounds of shots. PI tested negative, about half steers, half heifers, thin condition, 300, 650 pounds, mostly 350, 500 pounds, 100 calves, Cross 5 Ranch, Pie Town, New Mexico, ex-quality black Angus calves, Bovieshield Gold 8-way at Brandon, 450, 600 pounds, 100 calves, Mr. Rankin Frost, Carlsbad, New Mexico, ex-quality black, white face, red, white face English crossbred calves, cattle weigh 55 days, 2 rounds of shots, thin condition, 300, 500 pounds, 82 calves, Mr. David Gable, Roe Mesa, New Mexico, ex-quality black, white face, Charolais crossbred calves, shots at Brandon, thin condition, 300, 500 pounds, 61 calves, Michael Rubio, Hillsboro, New Mexico, ex-quality black and red Angus crossbred calves, cattle weigh 45 days, 2 rounds of shots, 400, 550 pounds, 57 calves, Quentin Dean, Del City, Texas, ex-quality red and Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weigh 60 days, 2 rounds of shots, thin condition, 300, 400 pounds, 76 calves, Key Livestock right here at Roswell, excellent quality black, white face Angus crossbred calves, cattle weigh 50 days, 2 rounds of shots, of medium condition, 400, 575 pounds, 61 calves, Klein Cattle Company, Marfa, Texas, excellent quality black, white face Angus cross calves, cattle weigh 30 days, 1 round of shots, 400, 600 pounds, and 42 calves, Mr. Matt Stockton at Dexter, good quality, mostly black, white face Angus cross calves, cattle weigh 80 days, Bovieshield Go 1 shot, Enforce 3, 7-weight, 350, 450 pounds. Several smaller consignments of high quality native calves with a percentage of weaned and condition. Sale time this morning 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 9:30. Be selling calves and yearlings near 10 o'clock to 10:15. Really short on cows and bulls today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 2,400 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
This holiday season, make your Christmas magical with Honey Depot, your one-stop shop for all things festive. Deck the halls with our charming Christmas decorations that will make your home sparkle. Spice up the Christmas meal with our baking goods and cookware. Keep warm with the best selection of clothing and pajamas. Our children's toys will illuminate young minds and bring endless joy, along with hilarious stocking stuffers that will have everyone laughing. Visit Honey Depot today and make Christmas the most magical one yet. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5:30, and Sunday from 1 to 6 at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Merry Christmas from all of us to all of you.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from, I keep wanting to say Alpha Omega. I've got to stop saying it. It's just all those Greek letters. Alpha Home Care this morning here. Sonia Bolaños also joining us. Where Sabrina Omerovic as well. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing
Good
today?
morning.
Good.
We're
Did I get it
good.
right? Or
Yes.
Okay, good. First off, happy Thanksgiving week. How you guys have Thanksgiving plans? You guys going to be in town or are you going to
No.
beat cheeks as soon as
Yes.
the work day's over, kind of thing?
I'll be going back home to Odessa.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, that's not too far of a trip.
No, it's not.
A few hours. Far enough away where you're out of town, but not too far where you don't have to spend all day driving.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That's kind of nice. Good for you. Are you going to be in town or you get to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Good.
I'm in town.
Nice.
Well, my
Are you
kiddos,
cooking or you just get to show up and eat?
Just show up and eat.
Nice. Even better. She doesn't have to travel and she doesn't have to cook. Take notes, people. She's got it. She's got it right. Very good. But as much as we love Thanksgiving and all that, we do want to talk about a little bit about what you guys do here at Alpha Home Care. Of course, providing home care for seniors, things like that. That's kind of the day job here too. But a lot of times you do come across folks that they don't have insurance or they don't qualify for various reasons and things like that. So you guys do have programs or a program here that really can offer assistance to folks that have probably been turned away elsewhere here a little.
Yes, that's correct. So we have under the Travis County Health Council, they are our physical agent.
Yeah.
We've started.
They've been a little busy lately with the flooding.
yes,
They kind of taken over as the agent, kind of the I don't know what the term would be, kind of the point of the spear to kind of get to even FEMA and everything else.
Yes.
211's been our resource for all that. So
Yes.
yep, that's what they do.
We've been busy with that.
Yeah.
But we have the new program, and it's called Caring for Seniors. And what it is anybody who does not have Medicaid and they need home care, non-medical home care services. They don't, like I said, they don't have Medicaid.
Okay.
But they can't afford to pay private.
I gotcha.
Then this program can help.
And this really could
in
help
between.
the whole family because, like you said, this is for non-medical stuff.
Yes.
So generally speaking, a lot of this would either stuff they either did themselves that they couldn't do,
Correct.
or they had a family member or some kind of friend or someone doing this kind of care for them, which we all know probably eats into their time. And, anytime you're caregiving for a loved one, elderly, that eats up a lot of time, resources. Oh, by the way, you got your own day job in life that you got to manage. And so really this could be a huge relief for a family, not just the individual in need of health care or home care here, right?
Correct. Yes.
So what's kind of, is it stuff like running errands and, cleaning, whatever ancillary stuff that needs to get done around the house kind of thing?
Yes. So normally with a non-medical home care agency, we provide like light housekeeping, laundry, medication reminders, light meal preparations, errands, and then we can also
no rack of lambs being made here, but
Right.
we'll get you. We'll put together a nice dinner.
Yes.
The creme brulee is room temperature.
Right. Yes. And so we will also, if they need the assistance with daily living, like dressing, bathing, we can assist with that as well.
Absolutely.
So like I said, with that, we would have quite a few individuals that would call or they, need the assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they
Can't
don't
afford it.
qualify. They
They don't
can't
qualify.
afford it because they don't have the Medicaid part that does pay for those services.
Sure.
Because Medicaid is the one who will pay for that.
And I know for a fact that that's the kind of stuff that really is the like, okay, the person's dealing with whatever medical affliction or whatever it is, but what beats down life is all the other things, because let's face it, especially a person that's independent, that's not independent anymore. You already know, we all know that when you are an independent person and you don't when you're requiring to be relying on someone else to take care of your needs, that's a certain kind of headspace and that certain kind of mentality. You're dealing with that already.
Yes.
And that's tough to deal with. And of course, family members want to feel that burden and everything else. And so you don't realize when you're dealing with a family member that's dealing with maybe a terminal illness or a long-term illness or something like this, we don't think of those things as the part that brings you down, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like you talk with Alzheimer's patients and their family members dealing with that kind of thing. It's never at the end of the day, the part that we remember, the hardest part to deal with, is not even so much the actual medical thing that's going on with the patient. It's all the life surrounding it, and so that's where this can really make dealing with something like this that's already bad, but make it a much more manageable, much more positive thing. If that's, where we can take whatever life is left here and make it much more quality life for everyone involved, not just the loved one that's needing the direct care, but for mom and dad, or brother and sister, or son and daughter, whoever it is that's kind of taking care of the day-to-day of this, folks. Because this is it. If you're busy trying to help get mom dressed and fed and ready for the day, and then you got to get your kids fed and ready for the day, yourself fed and ready for that's a lot to take in. And doing that day after day after day is going to impact your own mental health and your own
That
issues.
is correct, yes.
And so, to be honest, this might be the life-changing thing that a family's needing right now. So, I'm like, if you've been told no before, why would you not come down and let's make a phone call. Let's you can go through 211. I'm sure. Just call 211, and we'll give you the numbers direct here in a minute. But if you can't wait, call 211 and say, hey, I heard this thing about Alpha Home Care doing this program for people that that don't qualify for Medicaid, and they'll be happy to tell you more about this and get you set up for. But yeah, this could be a game changer for some folks, especially. We'll call it a holiday blessing. This could be one of those things where, you're thinking, how am I going to get through Christmas right now? I can't get through next week.
That's true.
This could be that answer, right?
Yes. There. So also it's not just for home care services, but also because what we did was we looked at everything that an elderly person, needs.
Like all of the things
that
is needed to make sure this person has a quality of life day to day.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Because our goal is to always try to keep, your loved one at home.
Sure.
Right. And so with that, there are other things that, when they're getting to, an older age, unfortunately they lose their independence. Mm-hmm. And so they, rely on, family, or, if they don't have any children or family, because they're already
is not
high
uncommon.
age.
Sometimes they outlived everybody.
Yes.
That happens sometimes. And so, yeah.
And so they've lost the ability to do the things that they normally would do for themselves, and one of them is like keeping their yard,
Sure. Keeping them from the homeowners and the neighbors from, getting salty with you and everything else. Yeah.
Or the city,
Sure.
saying, hey, you know what, you're.
Because we love when we get those weed notices in the mail.
Exactly. So
they help with some of that.
So
stuff
we're
keep you from getting in trouble with the various inspectors and whatnot.
Yes.
Too,
so we're partnering up with different local businesses here who will do those type of services.
Any lawn care companies listen and want to maybe volunteer some time to do some work? You might be able to.
So
give them a call.
We're trying. Yes.
Yeah.
We're like I said, we're partnering up with some of them.
Yeah. Anybody listening want to talk? Give them a call.
Exactly.
Call 211 to talk to them.
So what we will do is, let's say, for example, we have a landscaping business set up already with us, partnered up with us. Then these, it'll be referral based.
Okay.
So, like if let's say, for example, you're on home health or you're a doctor or, even hospice, somebody, refers you to us.
Sure.
And they, call and say, hey, we have a client that needs their yard done because they've gotten that city.
Probably a neighbor.
Right.
It's like, I live next door and they need help.
And so, exactly. And so we will, we'll call the landscaping business that we've partnered up with, and we let them know that we have this client that is needing assistance.
That's great.
They'll go do it, and then they'll let us know. And we, we're the ones through donations and grants that we're looking for to, help support financially this program.
That's great.
Then we will pay the landscaper.
That's awesome.
And then as far as like plumbing, light light plumbing, you know,
Gotcha.
like
Yeah, we're not overhauling all your plumbing, but you got a pipe burst, we need a pipe
Exactly.
fixed, or you got a leaky faucet, we can get that taken care of. A toilet that's, you know, not doing
Exactly.
toilet things, we can get that fixed.
Yes. Yeah. So we're, like I said, we're looking at, you know, all that. And then, like, you know, again, you know, they might not be able to go and get their medications. So
Sure.
we can go and, you know, get it for them. And sometimes they might need assistance
Mhm.
because if they don't have that Medicaid part that pays for their prescriptions, or
Mhm.
if they don't have the Advantage plan where it's just straight Medicare, there are some medications that you have to pay out of pocket for.
Gotcha. And this will
And
help
this-
offset some of that.
We can help, you know, with
And those are never
type-
cheap. Like every
No.
time you get those, it's not the $5 copay.
No, it's not.
Add about 3-4 zeros to that.
That's true. Yes.
Not to the front of it either. But yeah, it does get crazy expensive. So this really could save, you know, for some folks out there that are listening that they kind of got the nose from, you know, this could really be that answer. You know, please call 211 and ask more about this. Let's get that. That would be, especially with the holidays here and the way life's going to get busier, not slower here over the next
Right.
couple months. And unfortunately, these are the times of year when you have those moments where you got pushed too far and you have the mental breakdown, or you have the holidays are the most joyous time of the year, but also some of the roughest for folks that are not having the best of lives right now. And I imagine many of them are, you know, that many families are dealing with exactly what we're talking about. Family members that are near end of life. Maybe they're dealing with Alzheimer's, maybe it's something else, but either way, they're put in extreme circumstances at this time of year. And it is so hard to navigate that by yourself, or, you know, especially if you're the breadwinner and the caregiver and the sole provider and all the, you know, you're wearing all the hats. Let's see if we can get a couple heads to put a few hats on to help you out a little bit here and help out here and do that. So please, if they want to call you guys direct here, what's the best way to do that?
So they can call at 575-840-7450.
Okay, and that's called Alpha Home Care. Now, of course, if you're looking for home care and other stuff, they'll be happy to take care of that too. But if you want to learn more about this specific program
And
here,
it's Caring for Seniors.
Caring
is what
for
it's called.
Seniors is what. But if you know, oh, I got money, I can pay for it. And they'll be happy to take care of and help with all the. And you can be sure to find out about all the other services they can do for your home.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's pretty expansive here. But if you don't qualify or been told Medicaid's, you've been gotten all the no's and all of that kind of stuff, please reach out to Alpha Home Care or call that 211 the health line here. Health Council's health line here to get that question answered and get in touch and do all that kind of stuff. Because I imagine, you know, once they start the process here, the interviews, the set, and it's probably within weeks after all that next thing you know, someone's in your home and taking care of business here and getting work done and all that good stuff. But you got to start the ball rolling now to do
Correct.
that. Because, you know, anytime there's these kinds of things, there is time. There's delay. You know, there is some red tape you have to go through to do all this stuff. So allow that to happen and get through that and let them navigate that for you. Because and don't let that be a deterrent either. Because I know some folks say, oh man, is the juice worth the squeeze here?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? For the sake of your loved ones and your own sanity, yes, it is.
It is, because, you know, one of the things that, you know, we've learned is that if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of your loved one, you know?
Well, unfortunately, when you don't, it's going to get bad at some point. Yeah, whether it's tomorrow or next week, you're going to hit that point and it's going to blow up if you don't address it in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
It's not a question of if, it's when.
So we are not trying, but we are working on doing a support group for caregivers. We're hoping that we can do one in December.
Okay.
If not, then maybe after the holidays.
We'll get back
the
with us
beginning
so
of
we
the year.
can, once we got that locked down, and we'll, because there's strength in numbers in there. And that's, especially when you're dealing with elderly and end of life services and we all know what everything you're doing is going to lead to one path at one point. We all know that. And that's a lot to go through. And sometimes those are the most alone moments you feel is when you're dealing with those. And that's why these groups are great, because every single person in that room has been in through the exact same boat or worse than you are. And when you come out on the other side of that, you come out stronger and better. And when you have other people that understand, that relate, that know exactly the shoes you've been wearing, it's so much, that in itself is a comfort. To know you're not alone, that they're experiencing it. And that's why these are so great. So, you might make some amazing friends, and God forbid you just got your new social group, that'd be awesome. But at the least, you're going to come in with like company and people that know exactly the shoes you're wearing and know how you feel and can understand and can empathize with you.
Yes.
And that's sometimes you just want a little empathy. Right. You know what I mean? And that's all you need.
And, and to know that you're not the only one who's going through this.
Absolutely.
There's other people who are going through it. And then a lot of the times, you basically give up your whole life to take care of your loved one. And so you separate yourself from the everyday today, living with others. And so you kind of lose out touch.
Sure.
And you're not aware of these programs, or
you get a little
the
tunnel
support.
vision. Yeah, you can get a little tunnel vision because you're like, okay, and then your brain's like, okay, this is either helping the cause or hurting the cause, and if it's hurting, you know what I mean? You're right. And then you neglect your own life, your other things, and next thing you know, your tunnel vision's this. And it's easy to fall into that path. And that's why sometimes support groups and other people that know exactly what you're doing to remind you, say, hey, watch out for that pitfall. I made that mistake myself.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I said, we are working this program, supporting this program off of donations.
Great.
And then, like I said, we're working on, getting grants.
So I would imagine if there's some folks out there that kind of support this and think maybe they'd like to be a part and want to maybe reach out to you guys and see if we can do what we can, because I always know when you get people that are passionate about the thing, it tends to work a lot. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if there's a few people listening and said, I love what you're doing, I want to help be a part of that, please get involved, because the more of those types of people involved, the more successful this program.
Yes. And if you're not able to reach myself, you can also, like you said, call the 211 number, because the Chavez County Health Council does manage the 211.
Yes.
And so they are our physical agent.
Absolutely.
So if, somebody does donate, then they would, give their donation to the Chavez County Health Council in, basically in support of
absolutely this kind of it falls under the umbrella of all what 211 services do, but they do so much like that. This is most people probably think of the health council as now the 211 thing, that's kind of, but the big thing that most people know is around August, the big health fair they do at the convention center every year, and but that's also just a sliver of what they do too. There's so much of coordinating resources, as much as they're working with the community on getting you resources, they're working with the healthcare industry and getting them resources to the latest and greatest in their fields and technologies too. So that it's kind of a bigger amalgamation than that.
Yes.
But my point is, if you have questions about anything, from I'm new to town and looking for a new doctor to, hey, I have questions about shot records and healthcare and all that. Do I talk to the Department of Health? Any of those kinds of questions, 211 is your catch-all. That'll help. But also, it's also turned into our flooding and all this, too. So if you have questions about FEMA or any of that related stuff, 211 is also your resource for that kind of information right now, too. And they're the ones that coordinated, like, the needs list that you saw kind of going around on people providing services versus people needing services during the flood. That's all Health Council, all 211, all part of different umbrella, but all part of exactly what we're talking about here today with home care services for folks here.
Yes.
So please.
Yes. So we are also doing this event for the elderly. So we are going to do it on the 20th of December.
All right.
So what we'll do is we're collecting and accepting donations for like beanies, socks, mittens, gloves, scarves.
Okay.
And so we'll kind of do like a little care kit for them.
Okay.
And then we'll be giving them out to our elderly, our homebound.
All right.
Because some of them, they don't
What about like little Afghans or things like that?
Anything like that that they would like to, that anybody would like to donate and stuff. They can also call me for that. They can drop them off at the office.
Okay.
And it's at 1210 North Main, Suite 100, or they can call my cell phone number and I can.
And this is something, I'm in my 50s now, but I don't consider myself elderly yet, but I'm kind of, I'm getting older. But one thing I've noticed as I get older, and I'm used to be that guy that when it's 30 out, I'm in short sleeves because it's fine. It feels good. Now, 55, I'm like, I need a sweater. I need to, you know what I mean? Like you get, and when you get home and everyone else is sweating, I'm like, I could use a blanket, So trust me, enough of the soft mittens, the softer, plushier, the better. The older I get, I'm like, I want 8 piles of that stuff laying around the house at all given time.
Right.
So please, if you have that stuff, go, when you go on your Christmas shopping, grab another throw or grab some scarves or some nice soft hats or mittens or socks. Socks are, the thicker, the more softer, the better. All that stuff. And then you're going to have an event on the December 20th where we give them out to seniors.
We're going to give them out to our elderly, seniors, so that way they can have something. Because a lot of them.
Are you going to be like kind of delivering, driving around to various? Most of these are probably homebound folks and things.
Yes, our homebound.
Yeah, awesome.
That are not able to get out,
Sure.
and so we will be partnering up with we do a lot with our 2 hospice companies here.
Sure.
They do a lot.
They kind of have their finger on the pulse of who's
Yes.
in need right now, and so you kind of say, well, that's who we're going to go talk to. They know the people are in need. We're going to go to there. So
Exactly.
makes sense, absolutely.
Yes.
But so please, I always, because I do, I'm just as bad as they were. Going there like, oh, I'd love to have that. All right, buy 2, buy your one, and then go get one and donate it here. Get some hats and scarves, all that stuff.
Yes.
But and then I guess collect it. And where can folks drop this stuff off to you?
So they can drop it off at the office at 1210 North Main, Suite 100. So we're the building that is right next to Pasta Cafe.
Ah, okay.
We're across the street from the Fairfield Hotel.
Okay, so y'all have the curse of having to smell delicious foods and at certain times of the day and be like, man, I can't eat. But I'm just smelling pizza and pasta.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's a curse.
Because we're kind of like right there in the middle. We have Amigos right next to us.
Oh, that's so. Yeah, you got a cornucopia smells.
and then we have Starbucks Caddy Corner.
That's right.
Then we have Pasta Cafe right next to us, and then we have Caddy Corner from Cattle Baron. So,
man, y'all must have major fights at lunchtime. Where do you want to go for lunch today? I don't know. We can walk in 3 different directions and hit a restaurant. So.
Right.
But yeah.
So, I do want to say that we've partnered up with the American Red Cross.
Mm-hmm.
So what we will be helping with is smoke detectors.
Oh, excellent.
So anybody who needs a smoke detector, they can also call the office, and we will put them on a list.
Okay.
And then we will, when
they come in,
get our inventory, then we can make arrangements for a volunteer to go and install the smoke detector, especially again our elderly, and not just them, but just individuals in general. During the winter, if you don't have the central heat, you're going to use your gas stove.
Yeah, those furnaces or those little kerosene heaters or Lord knows burnt. Yeah,
all that, and so you're asleep and it overheats, catches on fire. You don't have.
Unfortunately, we lose a lot of people by just things like that they left the stove on in the night to keep warm, and a gas leak or something did, and next thing you know, it's an unfortunate tragedy that happens more often than it should.
Yes, so they can, like I said, they can call the number for us to be able to go and
get those smoke detectors installed and
for them.
And of course make as the reminder change those batteries. They always, what's the rule of thumb, when the clock changes, change your batteries, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So hopefully you did it here a couple of weeks ago. If not, might want to knock that out.
Yeah.
Or even unless you got one of them hardwired ones, and some of those, they still chirp.
Yes.
Plus, and if you got the chirp, everyone hates the chirp. No one likes the chirp.
I know, it's every second, every few seconds you hear that little bird.
Was it that one? No, it was this one.
Right. So when I hear them chirp like that, what it reminds me of is, I don't know if you remember, but when we were younger kids, they used to have the little ball, the little silver ball, and you would connect it for on your Christmas tree.
Oh,
and you would hear the little bird just
Oh,
chirp.
yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember those. It's just random, and if you hide it real good in the
Yes.
tree, people don't know what's going on. Yeah, I remember that. Those were
That's
cool.
that's what that chirp reminds me of every time I hear it. Like, I know.
And you could be dead asleep, and that thing go off and it wake you up. What is that?
Yes.
But you do need to have one in there, and please update the battery to stop that, because otherwise it's pointless to have it in there.
Yes.
But this, please reach out. Give out the number one more time for the home care here.
So the number is 575-840-7450, or you can also call Sabrina. She's our office manager.
And she loves to chat.
Yes, she does. She's like, you'll take over. And then you can give them your number.
I don't know it.
No one knows your own number. No one knows their own number. It's like, I don't call it. I don't know.
Call the 575-840-7450.
And if you can't remember any of that, 211, and they'll get you there.
The 211. Just call 211.
That's your catch-all. That's the be-all, catch-all. And if you have any questions related, really anything healthcare related, doctors. Now, it is not an emergency hotline. So if you're dealing with an actual medical emergency, that's 911. It's also not a 24/7. For the sake of the volunteers, please don't call them at 2 a.m. You try to keep it roughly around business hours.
Yes.
Usually if it's 8 o'clock at night, someone will answer. But you're just being mean if you call at 2 a.m.
I know.
So wait a bit. It's not that kind of hotline, but it is a number that will answer in reasonable hours and find you the answers you need.
Yes.
Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover that we got sidetracked on or spaced on?
No, I think we pretty much, like I said, we've covered it all. And if you have any questions, just please give us a call.
And even if you're not even sure if you qualify, reach out, because who knows? What we can. If you need help, there's people that are going to find resources for you, and that's
yes.
Whether it's through Alpha or through someone else through the 211 system here. There's resources in town if you need help, whether it's still flooding stuff, whether it's healthcare issues, senior issues, whatever it is. Please reach out to that number. There are resources here. People want to help. Not, even when you've been told no in 20 different places, there's still options if you need it. Just reach out. So, good deal. Thank you, ladies.
Yes, thank you.
Have a safe travels, or safe for you safe travels, for you safe eating, and hopefully you can avoid doing any other cooking or work through that while you're doing it. Anytime a dish flies out, duck it. No, I'm not cleaning that. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, it is 8:50. Let's do.
I'm Jared Sorello. A Roswell dentist office has reopened ahead of schedule after being devastated by the October floods. Carabelli Dental says it was inundated by the floodwaters October 19th and 20th, but with the amazing support of a fundraiser and other help from community members and patients, they've gotten the facility back up and running, opening today. One of the owners of the business said it's even more amazing considering insurance did not cover the flood damage. And a reminder, the emergency sirens in Roswell, Dexter, and Hagerman, set up to alert the public of a weather-related or other emergency, are being tested today about noontime. All of the sirens are regularly tested the first Monday of the month in an actual weather emergency. The purpose of the sirens is to warn folks who are outside to get in a building as severe weather approaches. And a quick sports look. Roswell got off to a quick start and never let up, defeating the Artesia Bulldogs at the Wool Bowl for their 33rd state basketball title and a three-peat in New Mexico's 5A division. Final score 41-22. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Let's talk about your health tracker. It knows if your steps are wobbly, your heart's pounding, or if you're tossing and turning at night. Pretty cool info for keeping tabs on yourself, not so cool in someone else's hands. I'm Kim Commando for Total AV, the award-winning antivirus software for just $19 right now at protectwithkim.com. Your friendly fitness wearable might be doing a bit more than just alerting you to a bad sleep score. Researchers at Mozilla found these devices often sell your health data to third parties. Think marketing firms, and even worse, insurance companies. And current laws, they don't do much to stop it. Here's how to protect yourself. Choose devices with end-to-end encryption or a strong privacy reputation. Apple, Garmin, and Samsung are solid picks. Look for options to opt out of data sharing, and make sure to turn those on. Don't link your health tracker to social media or any third-party apps. They'll just share your data further. Sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. Do you need statistics to finally convince you to bite the bullet and get good antivirus software? Well, here's the cold, hard truth. Ransomware makes up 68% of all cyber attacks. 72% of businesses were attacked by ransomware last year. Phishing scams are the most reported cybercrime in the United States. And last but not least, AI-powered cybercrimes are rumored to make up 85% of these scams. When you're not using antivirus software, you're at major risk, period. Don't wait for the worst to happen. Protect yourself now. My pick for antivirus security software is the award-winning Total AV. Go to protectwithkim.com right now for protection that's just $19 a year. You get antivirus protection up to 5 devices. Go to protectwithkim.com before it's too late. You don't need to be a victim. Go to protectwithkim.com. You'll get great antivirus software at 85% off. That's protectwithkim.com, protectwithkim.com.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. It took a year, but the Roswell Coyotes got a little redemption, a lot of redemption in the Class 5A championship game. This was a rematch of last year's 5A title game, which Artesia won. This time, it is Roswell winning by a score of 41-22. It's the 8th overall state title for the Coyotes. Artesia was seeking its 33rd state title. Quarterbacks Jacob Palomino for Roswell and Isaac Casares for Artesia traded touchdowns in the early going until it was a 14-12 game. Then Palomino hit Mason Greathouse with a touchdown pass, and then Palomino got a big touchdown run right before half, and Roswell was up 28-15, and that paved the way to the victory for the Coyotes in the second half. Congratulations. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
After repeatedly insisting that he would not pardon his son and proclaiming that no one is above the law, President Biden has done an about-face.
Despite previous promises not to use the power of his office for the benefit of his family members, the president announced a full and unconditional pardon for Hunter Biden. He said it is clear that Hunter was treated differently in his gun and tax cases, saying his son was the target of political opponents. The move comes weeks before the younger Biden was set to receive his punishment after his trial conviction in the gun case and guilty plea on tax charges. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Congressional Republicans are chiming in on the pardon, covering a 10-year span from 2014 to the present. On social media, Senator Chuck Grassley says he's shocked, adding that he actually believed President Biden when Biden said he would not pardon Hunter. President-elect Trump refers to the pardon as an abuse and a miscarriage of justice. Across parts of central and western New York State and western Pennsylvania, people digging out from beneath feet of lake-effect snow. Erie, Pennsylvania Mayor Joe Schemler says the city is slowly recovering.
Well, it was really hard at first because there was so much snow and, people weren't adjusting to it. But I think it's gotten much better now. And we encourage everyone to please stay off the streets for now. Just stay home. Let us get control of it, which we're starting to gather, and we're getting to some side streets as well.
Schemler speaking with WJET 24, Fox 66. They're digging out across parts of Ohio and Michigan as well. Online shopping tracker Adobe Analytics expects consumers to spend a record $13.2 billion today. This is Cyber Monday. Wall Street, the Dow down 128 points, and NASDAQ is up 150. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
President Biden is in Angola for his first and only visit to Africa during his time in the White House.
When Joe Biden hosted African leaders in Washington 2 years ago, he said the U.S. was all in on the continent. He pledged to reset America's engagement with Africa. And that has begun in Angola. The U.S. is refurbishing an old rail network that cuts across the country and building a new one to connect Zambia's copper belt and the Democratic Republic of Congo's cobalt mines to the port of Lobito in Angola. It's the most direct challenge yet to China's dominance in the region's mining and infrastructure sectors.
The BBC's Ann Soy. Volkswagen workers launching rolling 2-hour strikes at 9 plants across Germany, underscoring their resistance to pay cuts and factory closures. The company says the cuts are necessary to cope with a sluggish European auto market. The strike's part of contract talks. News and analysis, townhall.com. Coast Guard searching for 5 people after a fishing boat got into trouble in stormy weather and rough seas off Juneau, Alaska.
The crew of the approximately 50-foot boat, the Windwalker, sent a Mayday call that the vessel was overturning around 12:10 a.m. But the Coast Guard's attempts to get more information from the crew went unanswered, according to a Coast Guard press release. The Windwalker capsized on waters off Point Couverden, southwest of Juneau. 7 cold water immersion suits and 2 strobe lights were found in the water in the search area. The Coast Guard said the people who knew the crew of the Windwalker said that there were 5 people aboard, but officials have not yet been able to confirm that number. Bernie Bennett reporting.
German Chancellor Schultz visiting Ukraine for the first time more than 2.5 years. The visit comes just weeks after he was criticized by Ukraine's president for having a phone call with Russian President Putin. Schultz says Germany plans to deliver more military aid to Ukraine this month. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday. I know. Happy after a week off Monday for some. But happy Monday nonetheless.
Oh, Monday. Oh, you dirty, dirty girl.
Good news is Thanksgiving break.
Mm-hmm.
We got, another 3 weeks worth of work and then another vacation again. So
Yeah.
it's a short spell before the next break.
You have a vacation again.
Well, it's
the
coming.
rest of us have chaos and children.
Well, it's coming regardless. You know, we got a lot to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, you know. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
the Christmas time, Once all the presents are bought, put in the tree, and done all that, you get to enjoy the fruits of that labor.
The fruits
hopefully.
of said labor.
Yeah,
By the way, according to researchers, today is the final day to enjoy your Thanksgiving leftovers.
Is it?
If you have anything left, or if you have any wherewithal to eat Thanksgiving leftovers, now is the time to do so.
I think I'm safe. Turkey is gone. Taters are gone. I think Kim's got a little stuffing left. I don't mess with stuff. I eat it on Thanksgiving Day, and that's my contribution.
You want to turn him on?
I holler. Turn
him on.
So tell me, Roy, what do you like to do? Do you like walks on the beach? No, I'm sorry. Oh, you meant the microphone. So the stuff, yeah, I hate. I don't hate. I'm not a fan of stuffing or dressing. I tolerate it, and so on Thanksgiving Day I will eat it, but after that, I'm good on it.
It's just a Thanksgiving thing for me.
Yeah,
like I don't eat it all the time. Like I don't
Well,
think anyone does.
I think
really.
you only eat it during the holidays. I mean, I don't know. You have to ask this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's people that go to the grocery store, they go down that aisle and they see stovetop stuff and sitting there and they go, I kind of could go for some stovetop. But as far as making dressing, like doing that whole rigmarole, no, I don't think anybody's doing that.
Yeah, like I only eat it once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And so by the time I actually get to eating stuffing, I'm like looking forward to it because it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about it doesn't.
There's a rare occasion where I might make it.
Yeah, and I should like it. It's really just bread and spices and gravy. I mean, it's
turkey juice or whatever.
All that. It tastes like I should like it better than I don't know. It's just something that doesn't resonate with me. But anyway,
maybe you haven't had good stuffing.
No, I had great. Like the stuff that my in-laws make, my wife make, is very good.
Okay.
It tastes good. It's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something I'm not into that much. It's just not my. I'm not all about it.
Okay.
I'd much rather have the mashed potatoes, the turkey, the sweet potatoes are good. Green bean casserole, I love that kind of thing. But dressing's not just not something I'm not into.
Well, speaking of after Thanksgiving,
yes,
I have a question for you and probably Sean. When do you put up your Christmas tree?
I'm not the guy to ask because we don't. Because Kim and I it's usually because we're never home for Christmas. We're either at somebody's place or you know what I mean. So
okay.
So and we have cats. So we put up a tree. It's just something that the cats are going to attack.
Okay.
Our Christmas decor consists of a couple stockings and some garland or tinsel on the fire mantle. That's about it, and it's out of reach of the said cats. That's about the extent of our Christmas decorating.
Well, if you've ever put up a Christmas tree,
yeah.
When have you done it? Like, is there like a? I'm forgetting the words now. Like
what do you mean?
Like it's more of a hypothetical.
Okay. I mean, I've done it in the years past.
Yeah.
Just we haven't done one in years. So
yeah.
I would argue.
Like if you did before, when did you? Like, was there a rule in your household that when to do it?
For my mom, it was December. Once you're in December, she was good with it.
Mm-hmm. Because now there's a trend going on.
My sister-in-law, they always do it Thanksgiving weekend. Like literally, we had Thanksgiving Thursday, Friday morning. She's putting the tree up in her house.
Yeah, that's the trend now.
Yeah, that's what she's been doing as long as I've known her, or as long as she's been an adult running her own household. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there's some rule now saying that you cannot put up a Christmas tree until the day after Thanksgiving. Apparently, that's the rule now.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to. I know a guy that leaves his tree up all year round.
Yeah.
He's got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh shoot, I would
know
leave
a guy
that,
too.
I would leave. Well, it's me. I would leave that till February.
No,
if I could.
I actually, and you actually know a guy that has a Christmas tree up in his home right now, but it's the same Christmas tree that was up in March,
even
April, and whenever he has it up all year round in his house.
April is the limit.
Now,
I would go no later than March.
On said tree, it's decored with various sports ornaments. He's a big Dallas fan, so he's got Cowboy stuff on there. He's got Maverick stuff on there. He's got, I think he might even have some Star stuff on there too, for all I know. I'm pretty sure he's got Texas Ranger stuff on there. But yeah, he's and that's his tree. He leaves up his Christmas tree all year with his. I think it's got a the topper is like a Dallas Mavericks Santa hat.
Yeah. I feel like the tree would get a little bit stale or something after a while.
Yeah. No, it's not a real tree. It's a fake tree.
Oh, okay.
But it's a tree.
Well, more power to you. I guess.
Now there's your rule right there. If you go fake tree, then you can put up there for Thanksgiving. But if you're going live, you got to wait till about 2 weeks before Christmas before you can start doing that. Because if you put it in too early, by the time Christmas gets there, the pine needles are going to start falling out of this thing. It's going to start getting dead. So if you put it up in like end of November, and by the way, that tree, more likely than not, that live tree, if you go to buy it from like a tree stand that they're selling, they probably cut those trees right about Thanksgiving. Like they're probably cutting them this weekend.
Yeah.
And heading to the tree patches right now. So they're already been cut then. So you kind of don't want to go too early in that. You start putting them in now because by the time Christmas gets, it's going to start looking a little fast.
Apparently, after Thanksgiving is when you're supposed to get it. And apparently it lasts just as long or even longer past Christmas. I don't know.
I think only if you have a fake
I haven't had
tree.
a real tree in my house for a long time.
I did a lot as a kid because when I was in Scouts, one of our fundraisers our troop did every year was we sold Christmas trees. And that's how I know. We literally, the first couple years we did we literally bought a couple trees from other tree stands and then sold them at our tree stand and kind of they gave us a deal and all that. But after 3 or 4 years, our troop got bigger, more entrepreneurial with it. And we went out to the tree farm and we went Thanksgiving weekend. And we would go Thanksgiving weekend and we'd do it as a camp. We'd camp on the farm. And we get up at dark 30 and start cutting Christmas trees. And then we bale them, load them in the trucks, and bring them back to town. And then we start our Christmas tree stand.
Okay.
And we'd go and cut a couple hundred trees and do it at that point. So, I did. I was in the business with Boy Scouts, in my ute. But, And so we did have trees. All that time we had real trees because we got them for the Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing.
Yeah.
I would say if you want to put a Christmas tree up, I think the best time is when they sell them in stores. That would be a great time to put your Christmas tree up. Once they start selling them.
Problem is, some of these stores started selling them back, like in October.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
I feel like you could go to Hobby Lobby.
You can put it up.
You can probably go to Hobby Lobby any time of the year and find Christmas stuff. But I mean, they start really heading it out about October there. So
yeah,
it is 8:15. I probably need to get the hour going here. But by the way, big congratulations to the folks at Carabelli Dental. They are opening today. I actually didn't know all that was going on. I went and I drove to work this morning and I was driving by Carabelli Dental there and I saw they had the flags out saying we're open. I was like, sweet, that's awesome. They're back open. And I got to work and then as I was getting ready for the day and getting, reading and looking for stuff to talk about the morning show, I saw the story that KRQE did on Keon and Sarah and and everything over there at Carabelli Dental and just talking about the story there, how the community rallied and next thing you know, football teams and just different customers, patients to just community members showed up and started helping, and just a great story. I bet you check it out. I know we do have on our local news as well. The story as well on Carabelli there, but they're open, so congratulations to them and way ahead of schedule. They were anticipating months worth of delays getting everything back up and running, but here we are. I don't know. Has it been 2 months yet? I don't even know. My clock is just not off. I was like, did that happen last week or was that like months ago? I don't know anymore. But anyway, we're glad and congratulations to them. And I imagine there's a lot of people that are ready to get their teeth work done, and we're so happy that they're back up and running and ready to get back to business here. So start making money again too, because I'm sure without the insurance and stuff, they got some catching up to do here. But they'll take care of it. So support them. we're so happy. All right, 8:17. Let's do this. Before we play our interview with which we're going to do, we had Ellie Rodriguez from Loan Depot join us, and Terry Baca with Housing New Mexico the last week to talk about opportunities for programs and things for homeowners, getting you to be a homeowner. So we're going to play that interview here in just a few. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 50 to 55 on the afternoon high today, with high pressure over the Four Corners and the Central Rockies. We'll be getting sunshine. Overnight, a little fog possible for a few areas. We'll be in the low to mid 40s. And then for Tuesday, we're expecting more cloud cover. Quick low pressure system moving through. No rain with that, but we'll be in the upper 50s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I scrolled too low. Currently 37 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 67%. Winds are out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. We are looking at sunny skies and a high of 57 today with east winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Could see some fog rolling in tonight after 11 p.m. Otherwise, increasing clouds with an overnight low of 46 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Waking up to some areas of dense fog till about 11 a.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a high of 57. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, cloudy skies with an overnight low of 40. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, once again, waking up to some areas of fog. That should roll out about 9 a.m. Mostly cloudy early, gradually becoming sunny with a high of 62. Winds out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. Thursday, partly cloudy, 58 for a high. Friday, partly cloudy and 62. And then 61 and sunny on Saturday, 68 and sunny on Sunday. All right, 8:19, we're going to take a 3-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Ellie Rodriguez from Loan Depot and also Terry Baca with Housing New Mexico. Don't go away.
Come in. The Roswell Symphony Orchestra and the Way Off Broadway Theater Company present a classic Christmas story, Menottes, Amal, and the Night Visitors. Sunday, December 22nd, 2:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. Witness the story of one young boy's encounter with 3 very wise kings on their way to one very important birthday party. Get your tickets now online at roswellsymphony.org or at the door. Menottes, Amal, and the Night Visitors. Sunday, December 22nd, 2:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell.
A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Registration for the spring semester is on now at ENMU Roswell. A great career in healthcare, arts and sciences, or technical trades is waiting for you. Now's the time to skill up and get certified. Register today for spring 2025 classes and talk with an advisor. Log on to roswell.enmu.edu. ENMU Roswell, success starts here.
Success starts here. ENMU Roswell.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Santa Claus is coming to Roswell Nissan.
Ho, ho, ho!
Yup, the big guy himself is coming to Roswell Nissan, and you're invited to this special event Saturday, December 7th from noon till 3. Bring the whole family for ornament decoration, cookies and hot cocoa, and of course, your chance to get pictures with Santa. The Charlie's Angels dance team will be on hand for a special live performance, and gather the kids for story time with Santa at 1:30 p.m. Celebrate the holiday season with Santa Claus. Saturday, December 7th from noon till 3 at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
You deserve to enjoy your health. You deserve to enjoy your passions. We're here to make that easy. If you're over 65, Medicare is yours, and New Mexico Aging Services is your expert, unbiased guide to finding the best plan for you at no charge. So instead of navigating Medicare on your own, spend your time doing what you love. We'll help you get the care you need to keep doing it. Medicare, make it yours today. 2024 open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Get started today at aging.nm.gov/Medicare. This announcement was paid for in part by Grant 2201 NMMDR from the Administration for Community Living, sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Elliot Rodriguez back with us from Loan Depot. Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning, Roswell.
And then also joining us on the phone this morning is Terry Baca with Housing New Mexico. Good morning, Terry. Can you hear us okay?
Good morning, Mike. Yes, I can hear both of you, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you for joining us here on the radio this morning. So I think most people know what Elliot does. Elliot, of course, we always talk to folks when in every month we have a conversation with Elliot, and we always talk about, where Elliot's the guy you need to talk to before you talk to your real estate agents and those folks to really know and understand, how much money you qualify for. It's always a bummer to go out there and you look for this and you find this amazing home and it turns out you don't qualify for anything near that. So we always talk about that, but we always talk about how Elliot loves working with first-time home buyers and things like that. And so that's where I think you come in here, Terry, a little bit. But for folks that don't know, let's kind of start here and just explain to folks what Housing New Mexico is and just give a little bit of background about what your organization does.
Yes. Well, we are New Mexico's official housing finance agency, but we do so much more than home ownership. We manage over 40 programs, I believe, from various funding sources, federal and state, and we help people wherever they are on the spectrum, whether they are homeless in need of emergency shelter, all the way up to homeowners who need rehabilitation to their homes and ramps and things like that, and everything in between. And I represent the home ownership department, so we provide down payment assistance and affordable mortgages for first-time and repeat home buyers.
Excellent. So it's really kind of like Elliot, just turning over stones and seeing what best opportunities out there for each family, and just it's like, hey, you don't think you can qualify? Oh yeah, let me do my homework here and dig around and see what we can find for you. And guess what? You guys usually come up, find something under those stones, and say, hey, we can get you in a house.
It's amazing. So many people have the notion that they're not going to be able to qualify to buy their own home. But if they sit down with somebody like Elliot and actually walk through their circumstances and what is possible, they are, more often pleasantly surprised. They're just, never thought they could buy their own home.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. And this is what we like. And this is the conversation Elliot and I have every month. And for people that you talk about, that you're renting right now, and you're sitting there and if you're living in your rental home, and you're probably, and 99.9% of the time, you're actually paying someone else's mortgages at that moment. And so whatever their mortgage is, and then they put one on top so they can make a little. So you're in essence paying someone else's mortgage, probably paying more per month for that house than if you lived in a nicer house that you actually owned. And this is where we get to the point where we say, if you don't think you qualify, there's lots of programs for first-time buyers, for veterans, for if you're teachers, if you're if you're from a certain background or certain culture, there's opportunity.
Yeah, there's always an opportunity for something.
Yeah, exactly. So I would imagine, Terry, so for you, is it like, do people are you kind of a person they come to direct, or do they come do they work through you through a real estate agent? How do folks find you usually when it comes to these kind of things, Terry?
Well, typically they visit with their lender first.
Okay.
Excuse me. We have a list of participating lenders on our website, and of course, Elliott is part of that for your area. But I believe Elliott he can loan in any part of the state.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's correct.
And yes, and then so my role primarily is to work with lenders when they have certain borrower scenarios to discuss or obstacles to overcome, anything having to do directly with our programs. I typically assist the lender directly and can answer questions for realtors as well. Now, we do have contact forms on our website, and we do get a lot of consumers that fill those out, so we do respond directly in those cases. However, our goal is to get them in the hands of a competent lender.
Very good. Mm-hmm. So let me, while we're talking about that, steer people to the website so they can kind of, if they want to, so they're like, oh, yeah, that's exactly when you talk to us. They can, I think they're done listening to me, and they can start reading. Where can they start doing their research?
It is housingnm.org. And we have a lender realtor section. We also have a really nice section for home buyers.
Gotcha.
And they'll be able to find a list of lenders wherever they are in the state. And then we also have a link to a third-party company called eHome America that is a provider of homebuyer education. And so they are welcome to take that course. It does cost $45, but up to 2 people can register and take the class and pay just one fee.
Sure.
And it kind of, gives them the background about what's involved in qualifying for a mortgage, the responsibilities of home ownership, and that is a required class. And so somebody like Elliott would need their certificate of completion to move forward with their loan. And so that's always a good way for somebody to start.
Very good. So that kind of starts the process for, as far as, what they're offering and things. But now, obviously, you guys work on everything to on your end to help get these people connected to the loans and things like to the money.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, when you're coming to look to buy your home, you got to give you guys something to work with here.
Well, yeah, but usually me and her, sometimes I throw some ideas on her.
Sure.
Okay, and throughout the years we have.
Sure.
And I try to uncover every stone to try to help every single family that I can help with.
Sure.
And basically, the point is for me to start helping them getting pre-qualified first.
Sure.
Sometimes I get people that actually go into the site, which
Mm-hmm.
is awesome when they go into the site and I get a phone call or either an email.
Gotcha.
Saying, hey, I saw your name in MFA. I wanted to reach out to you to see if I can get some help. And that has happened many times.
Okay.
So, and Terry and I, for years, I throw ideas at her
Mm-hmm.
as far as because everything has to go by guidelines and rules and all that.
Absolutely. You can't.
So everybody has to qualify. But the point is, the government have made it so easy for people to truly qualify. They just have to do their part, And
that's kind of where I was gonna lean next.
Yeah.
It's like if someone's coming to you or Terry to say,
Mm-hmm.
this I want to do. What's the best things, or what preparation should they make to kind of streamline it to make it easier for you guys to start the process?
Well, basically, they come to me and they will do an application.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then I'll do an interview with them and find out a little more information, because it's not quite simple. Just do an application and you're good to go.
Gotcha.
I had to kind of go and kind of discover, through the interview, a little more information about
Sure.
them, their family, how many, persons live in the home, how many people are going to be living in the house, etc.
Sure.
Okay.
One thing about programs is they like to collect statistics so
Exactly.
they can show and prove that the programs they're doing are
Mm-hmm.
actually benefiting the people they're trying to target. So yes, you will be asked a gauntlet
Oh
of questions.
yeah, I'll be basically uncover every stone. So basically, I have to make sure that they qualify for the program, okay, and that way they can take the opportunity, and the benefit of getting what the state of New Mexico is providing for a lot of new home buyers and repeating buyers, depending on the circumstances.
Sure.
So, and that's the part that a lot of people forget, that MFA is not only for first-time home buyers, and she's probably going to make some comments about that in a minute. So the reality is that even repeating, buyers can still buy a home through MFA as well. With the assistance of Loan Depot,
Gotcha.
we'll be helping them, making sure they acquire the funds to be able to do the down payment,
Okay.
and be able to buy their home.
Okay.
And that's the part that a lot of people forget. And you and I talked about this throughout the years. A lot of people like, oh, but nobody ever helped me. Nobody told me. And they tell me, no, I don't qualify for anything. And most of the time, they actually qualify for something, and we can help them buy a house.
Sure.
And give them that dream of, home ownership,
Sure.
So.
And that kind of goes to the point where and this is where the difference when we talk about you and what you do, and this is, I'm sure Terry in the same vein here, is that because, like you said, those people that were told no and things like that, it's because at the end of the day, that person's looking at you as a dollar sign, and they're thinking, I don't make as many zeros on the paycheck when I go into you, when I'm spending all this time working with you, where I could easily talk to this one who's got the 800 credit score, the credit line of $500,000, whatever those magical numbers are, that's,
no,
and see, so this is where I always point, guys like you, this is where, when if you're looking to do finances and trying to get right, that you can do this and do it in a way where you care as well too. So let me ask you, Terry, for as far as when it comes to the different, like saying for this is not just for first time home buyers, this is for multiple. Talk a little bit about some of the clarifications there. Is that open to anybody, or was there certain criteria met that you didn't have to meet the first time to qualify to do it again? Or talk just a little bit about some of the qualifications there, if you don't mind, Terry.
Oh, sure. Our program for buyers is called Home Forward.
Okay.
And it can help people in your area who have income of up to $118,350.
Okay.
And
that's a lot of income for a person.
Well, yeah. I'll take that job, yes.
Absolutely.
No kidding, right? Me too.
That doesn't exactly sound like a poverty income there, does it?
No, it's not. It really is open to anyone and everyone. We have some basic qualifications, including a minimum credit score of just 620.
Okay.
And by the way, we don't treat borrowers differently based on their credit score like many investors do. So, for example, somebody coming in with a 621 credit score will be given the same opportunity as the person with that 850 score. And Elliot can probably comment on how other investors that he works with do make adjustments in price for people with lower scores because they're considered riskier. So we don't treat people differently in that respect. Also, if somebody wants to buy a manufactured home versus a site-built home, they are treated the same under our program as well. And that's not true with other investors. They will always price a manufactured home loan higher.
It gets back to those things I was talking about earlier about just being worth the squeeze and the risk versus the reward here a little bit. And so that's again, it's about dollars and cents, and this is what we're saying. It's like, no, it's dollars and cents, but there's also some heart here, and that's what we're saying.
I remember when I decided to come to Loan Depot. One of the stipulations that I actually had is I wanted to go somewhere that I can pretty much do everything that I can to help everybody that I can, because if I can do that, I mean, imagine what I can accomplish. And there's so many people that need homes.
Sure.
Okay. And they're being discouraged throughout the years, some because of ignorance, some because of misinformation. Okay. And some because, misbeliefs, because there's a lot of myths out there. Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, we partner with MFA and we do FHA, conventional, VA, and USDA. I mean, so it's one of those things, that is there for the picking.
I always compare some of these programs to college scholarships. Like if you're going to apply for college,
I remember those, yes.
And I'm like, and I tell to this day, I say the same thing. You after you get your, congratulations, you're accepted at the college. The next thing you need to do is walk into the financial aid office and just throw your name out there to as many scholarships as possible. and I feel like it's kind of the same world. You know what I mean?
It kind of is.
Yeah.
And Terry's going to tell you that because the fact of the matter is, I remember when I was going to college in New York, Fredonia State College University. That's where the bills go on train, by the way. I used to be a bill lover, but I switched. So now I'm I became a Colorado, for the Broncos. But my point is,
life happens.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Things change. But what I mean is, I remember going to my freshman year and straightforward to the financial aid office.
Yeah.
And what do you qualify for?
Yeah.
What are the minimums of whatever you need to have to be able to get whatever scholarships or whatever you needed at the time.
Sure.
And trust me, I mean, I was an emancipator minor going into college. Okay, so I went on my own.
And I imagine literally, there was probably a whole world of scholarships that you were uncovered.
There were
some,
and I still didn't know everything. So it's like if I would have known more.
Yeah,
oh, God.
And that's kind of where yourself and Terry come in. It's like, look, let us be that for you for like scholarships, and say, let's come in, let's see if you qualify. Let's and let's put this to work for you. So all right, Terry. I guess speaking of qualifying, so if folks are curious about qualifying and all that, how do they start that process or find out where they do that?
Well, they would visit with Elliot.
All right.
One of our approved lenders, and actually, the beauty of it is it's a one-stop shop for home buyers when it comes to this. So even though we have a lot of programs and options and rules, somebody interested in finding out if they qualify doesn't have to learn about it and then come in and ask for something specific.
Gotcha.
Once they present and give their information to Elliot, then his job is, and he knows from experience just almost instantly which direction they're going to go in. And, of course, the lender's job and goal is to save them money and make it easy.
Yeah, and I would imagine, too, that you guys know this already, but and would probably surprise people is, guess what? Everyone's unique and everyone's situation's different, and their path to get there is not going to be exactly the same, but every person's similar. Like, okay, maybe the details are a little different, but the shoes are very similar. And so the stories you hear, you've probably heard similar variations over, the more experience you do this, the more of those stories you acquire. So that experience, that comes into play and said, you know what? I dealt with something very similar. There are some great programs that can work with that. So everything's unique. Everything is similar at the same time.
I do throw some ideas at Terry once in a while that she's like, okay, Elliot, let's see what we can do with that. But you know what? It's awesome because, me and her had a long relationship, throughout the years now. And, I trust, sometimes I don't bother her too much. Sometimes come out of nowhere like, hey, Terry, I have a situation as such and such. I mean, and rules change.
Sure.
Okay. And that's another thing, that happens. Rules continue changing just in my world and her, and hers too.
Sure.
So that's why it's good to have and they always keep us, informed about all the changes that they actually come up and everything.
Sure.
And that way we're ready to help everybody. But yeah, she's right. The first step, and it's funny, when it comes to real estate agent, when it comes about shopping houses, even getting qualified, even through government programs, your first step is to go and talk to your lender. Because we need to figure out, do you have the qualifications, period, just to begin,
sure.
The steps, to go forward. But in the end of the day, that's where it comes, all the experience and all the years and trying and throwing ideas at Terry. And Terry, can I do this? Can I not do that? And she told me, yes, you can. No, you cannot. And
well, it sets the table for the rest of the process to be easy.
Exactly, and I make it easier for them.
Absolutely. So. Whereas now you got your ducks in a row here. You know exactly how much you qualify for. You know exactly how you're going to pay for it. Now you go to the real estate agent and say, look, this is what I got to work with, and now they know exactly your parameters, and they can go to work and put together exactly the right homes that meet exactly what you're trying to do, and all of a sudden what people fear and dread turns into a very pleasurable experience, and they you know what I mean, and then that's where but it really starts at the ground level with dealing with a guy like Elliot or Terry here and saying, hey, let me walk through this door and see what happens. And once you've got all the ammo and all the information you need to go out there and buy that first home, it's so much better process. So that this is how you do it. If you're not sure how to do it, and I know, Terry, you're not privy to these, but usually every month Ellie and I have these conversations. It's about, you can't always look at the world around you on when it's the right time to buy homes.
Correct.
If you got to look at the world that you live in and what's going on in your life. If you need a home right now, then you need a home. You can't.
That's right.
And so if you're waiting for this thing and obviously with the election just happened, there's probably going to be some big changes coming and things like that. If you're happy about that, then you're probably ready to jump in. If you're not, you're probably worried. I'm saying, don't worry about any of that. If you need a house, you need a house, And if you've been wanting to get in the game, because that's always, it's the game. Once you've got your home, then you're a homeowner, and you will be amazed at how many different doors open.
I know. I always say that, like, you can't be waiting for the star and the planets to align, because if you do that,
right,
you're going to sit down waiting forever.
So to get in the game, maybe your first home isn't always your forever home. And you got to remember those things. Like, all right, I'm trying to get my first home. It's not going to be the 4-bedroom, 3-bath on the 3-acre lot with the, it's going to be maybe something you got to put a little elbow grease into, but it gets you in the game. And then when you go to sell that house, it'll be more valuable than when you bought it. And that's how this works. And that's the big picture. And that's how Americans achieve the American dream in a nutshell. But it all starts with talking to a guy like Elliot or talking with Terry here and seeing, how to start that process.
And I love when people go into the website, because let's be honest, there's some people out there that love researching and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Do your homework.
And they do their homework. I mean, they become very dangerous because all the questions that they ask is crazy, but at least they have even more of a background on having a little more information. So when they come to me,
sure,
it's like, it's even more easier than what they even expected.
Sure. So I got to be curious, Terry, because I know, obviously a lot of your work is probably working through guys like Elliot and things to connect to people. But do you get, from your perspective, do you get the kind of the payday side where I know where Elliot, he goes through these and some days I'm sure some of these are more bigger fights than they need to be or sometimes. But at the end of the day, when you see someone who didn't think it could happen, it happens, that's the win for you. I'm curious, Terry, do you get to that perspective, or are you kind of farther up the food chain where you don't really get to see the one-on-one stuff?
Oh, I absolutely get that perspective, and
good.
That's why I do what I do.
Good.
It is just so heartwarming, and in fact, on our website, we collect borrower success stories, and there are some, I believe, out there somewhere that I've had the privilege of writing, interviewing these people, and just, as you mentioned earlier, everybody is similar in certain ways, but then we all have different stories.
Absolutely.
And some of the obstacles that some of these people have had to overcome, but they don't give up. They listen to their lender. They take everything a step at a time, follow their lender's advice, and then their closing and move-in date will eventually come. And that's one thing that a person like Elliot will take the time to do, kind of hold them by the hand, educate them on the process, encourage them. And, so even if somebody's in a situation today where maybe they can't qualify, that doesn't mean they can't qualify just a little ways down the road. So if they want to get on the path, wherever they are right now, they should talk to Elliot, and Elliot will kind of assess their situation, kind of make a plan and say, hey, here are your action steps. Here's what you want to do. Here's what you don't want to do. And they just keep in touch throughout. Sometimes it's months and months, right, Elliot?
Yes, sometimes it is. And I love that, because when they listen to me and they're following my lead, it could be 1 month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, but they're buying a house.
Absolutely.
And as you see that I always post the pictures, at least the ones that allow me to do so.
Sure.
It's awesome, because one thing that I see and I read those pictures that I do, sometimes people are a little, inner, so they don't let it out. So, but if you look at most of the pictures that I actually post, I would say 90 to 95%, most of the people are like, got this big grin and this big smile. And it's so awesome, because I really enjoy that.
Well, some of us want to act like we've been here before, but deep inside we're like, I did an adult thing and I'm an adult now.
I'm a big boy. I'm a big girl now.
But we keep that on the inside. I get it.
It's really true. And you see, let me tell you something. A lot of people tell me, why are you always smiling? It's like, well, I don't have no reason to not smile. I mean, you know what? One thing that I love, and this was an MFA, customer, the lady told me, you give hope like it's candy, okay? And that was the best, thing that somebody can say to me. It's like, that was so cool that she said that, and I love it,
But here's the thing, though, that's true. It legit, if you just follow what they're saying, like you said, you guys, you know the path to get to someone here, and anybody can do it. And yes, sometimes it does make a few sacrifices and things, but you got to also remember what your end game is. It's like, correct. Do you want to drink Starbucks every day, or do you want to live and own your own home? I mean, that's and so if sometimes it's decisions like that. Sometimes it's just, hey, pay off a few of these things, and guess what? Your credit score just shot up 100 points. Oh, guess what? That puts you in a whole different category of where we can help you out on some things.
And it's funny because you're saying Starbucks, okay, and all that stuff. Let me tell you a perspective that I don't drink coffee, by the way, but I don't have drink coffees in the past, but it's just not a. If I drink coffee and drink sodas in my office, I'll be jumping all over the walls like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
But my point is, when you own your own house, so like you were saying that, maybe you shouldn't be drinking so many Starbucks, so you can actually afford your house.
Yeah.
What about when you are making your own coffee at your house? I mean, a lot of people don't even think about this, but that you can make your own coffee in your house.
I feel like Starbucks has a Keurig K-cup that you can buy. It's probably a lot cheaper than if you're at the Starbucks.
But you see my point, though. It's you be at your house making your own coffee.
Sure.
It's like, to me, that's priceless.
Absolutely.
There's no value on that to me.
And that's but we live in a world where we want the latest and greatest.
Of course.
You only got the iPhone 12, you loser. You need the 17 or whatever they're up to now. And I'm like,
I'm still on number 9, by the way. I need to be updated pretty soon.
And I'm just thinking, like, that sounds good when you're trying to look cool in a circle, but I'd rather look cool and go home and be like, check this out. I only got an iPhone 9, but I got a nice house. And guess what? I got a 65-inch TV over there because you know what I mean? I did it right way. And that's...
I remember when I bought my first home.
Yeah.
And I didn't have nobody like me to help me.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think that's one of the things that have actually inspired me out, to like take off. Because to help other people and be there to guide them and say, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that.
Sure.
One of the things that I tell my customers, by the way, I just want to make sure you understand that you are the boss.
Yeah.
You don't work for me. I work for you. I'm here to guide you, give you advice. Look at me like an attorney.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I need to know everything so I can help you the best.
Sure.
And since I bought my first home, it was such an experience that helping people buying houses is the coolest thing because I get to buy houses every day.
Absolutely.
Okay? So that's the coolest thing.
And this is something too I want to, and I'm sure Terry can tell you this too. You have said this before. It's it's not about. I mean, it's about income. Yes, you got to have income, but you can have low income jobs,
correct,
and still be a homeowner. There is ways to do that. It's all about managing money and stuff. And this is where you need to talk to Elliot.
I've had people
Terry.
that work for McDonald's and Taco Bell, and they're like, everybody told me I can never buy a house. And they come and bought a house, and guess what? They have a house now. It's like, and that's what they work at.
And that's the thing. You get on Twitter and you get everywhere. And I'm going to tell you, there's probably some place in this country that what we're saying is not necessarily true. But what I mean is, that by and large, most people think you can't get a job or can't get a home because you have basically a fast food job or what would be considered low income job.
Correct.
And I'm like, no, it's not about that. It's about what you do with the money, and that's where you prove it. And I'm sure, Terry, you could say you've seen that as well, where folks that they don't have 6-figure incomes coming in, but you can put them in a home if the money's managed right. It doesn't have to always be high income to still be a homeowner.
And that's where MFA comes to. That's
exactly why they're here.
Yeah, that's exactly 100% their power.
Yeah. So, that's the point we're trying to make here. Don't everything that is built up in your head by either other people or yourself saying, no, you don't check these boxes, therefore good luck ever owning a home. I'm calling BS on that. And you need to talk with Elliot and let's get the ball rolling. And let's see how Elliot and Terry and whoever else we need to call to the table to get you in a home.
We'll call Terry's boss so that they can approve something extra.
Absolutely.
Well, Mike, you're absolutely right about that, and I'm glad that you're kind of honing in on that and giving people hope in that respect, because I think we as humans kind of put restraints on ourselves needlessly, and we help a lot of very low income people buy their own home, and the whole key is managing your money. And in fact, one thing that I find myself recommending to consumers when I have the opportunity is to visit consumer.gov website and you can get a free household budget worksheet, and just start there and start writing out, what you owe, and and you can look for ways to cut, whether it is the Starbucks or we all have our little spending habits, whatever that may be, wherever you are. I would say just go ahead and get started, and kind of help yourself in that way, and you'll be positioned to buy a home in no time.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure and this is where my 50-year-old brain isn't that wise on this stuff, but I'm pretty sure you could probably go into your Apple or Google or whatever stores and just search for like budget apps, and there's probably all kinds of free apps that can help you start creating a household budget and
we even do it
plugging in
ourselves.
numbers and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure you guys probably have a program.
A lot of times I tell people we need to do a budget. Here's the form. We'll start talking about doing a budget because they need to. Sometimes we need to get approved. I mean, because I still have to approve them through our system first.
Sure.
And then I have to, then it comes through MFA.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have to help them with that part.
Absolutely. But if you kind of want to start there, learn the basics and let's go. But please, if there's a will, there is a way. And that's why America is great. And that's why America is, and that's why we are the most powerful and where we're at and where we sit in the world, because that's the mindset of Americans. If we want to put our minds to it, we roll up our sleeves and we get it done. And home ownership is no different. If you want to do it, we can get it, and we're going to help you do it. But let's give you the knowledge and the tools to make that happen.
We got the knowledge, we got the tools.
Yeah,
we got
$6 million manual. But anyway, sorry, that just went right over all the young people's heads right there. That reference. So. Terry, we're running short on time, so I do want to give you a chance to give you the last word. Anything we didn't cover? Anything that you wanted to make sure we talked about that I just got us sidetracked on?
Well, I do want to just make mention of how important we think it is to work with a realtor. Home buyers need to be represented by a professional.
That's a good idea. Yes.
And yes, because there's a lot of legal paperwork that needs to be completed properly. Home buyers have rights that they may or may not know about, and a realtor's job will guide them through the process and make sure their rights as home buyers are protected. They'll help them negotiate with the seller, make sure the home is priced fairly, and so many more things. Absolutely. But that's just one important component I didn't want to miss mentioning.
Yeah, that's when you become your first homeowner, become a home buyer. Yeah, we're this part is the stage one of where people sweat bullets and like get okay. But now we get qualified and you're out there. But then you get to the world of appraisals and safety and home inspections and
I advocate for that all the time because folks. I might have an out of knowledge, and I know how to do everything, but I'm not an agent.
And that's where the real estate agent.
And that's why I try to push
Elliot's expertise leaves at the moment that we got you the money secured. That's where the agent takes over and making sure you don't buy a lemon or you get the most bang for your buck here.
Well, you need somebody to have your interest in hand.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, it's the doggy war. It's the doggy war out there. You have to be careful.
Absolutely, and let's face it, because of the politics and the finances of the world here, the housing market prices are very wackadoo right now.
Yeah, it's getting out of control.
That's why you need the real estate agent to kind of cut through the wackadoo so you get fair market value or pay fair market value for what you're buying.
Yeah, I always ask all my buyers, do you have an agent? Do you know an agent that you're working with?
Yeah.
Or either I can pair them up with somebody. I always advocate for that because, again, I'm not a real estate agent.
That's right. That's where their expertise lies. This is why you get the people in their corner here. So one more time, Terry, give out that website where folks can start doing their reading and researching.
Yes, thank you. It is housingnm.org.
Very good. And, of course, you can get a hold of Elliot here at Loan Depot anytime. Come by his new office. He just had his grand opening celebration here a couple weeks here ago. So now it's a full-on office. He's got his staff working hard here. But you can come on by. Or call him direct. This is where his real office is his phone. You can call him direct at 719-237-4680. You can always reach him via email at Elliot Rodriguez. Make sure you spell Elliot with one L and a Z at the end of Rodriguez at loandepot.com. You can actually go to his website. He's got his own Loan Depot website, www.loandepot.com. Elliot Rodriguez. If you take nothing else from this conversation here today, other than call Elliot, and then you can read and learn all about what Elliot does and hear some of his stuff, and of course start the ball rolling here. If you take nothing else from this conversation here today, other than call Elliot and say, I heard you talk about getting people in homes on the radio. I kind of missed some of that. Can you help me out? If that'll start the ball rolling, and everything Terry talked about and everything Elliot talked about, we'll get you plugged in for and all that. So, good deal. Did we get it all? Elliot, we get everything?
I think so.
Very good.
Actually, mortgage you can never.
I know. Do we get enough for now? Terry, is there anything we missed that you wanted to mention?
I don't think so. I just wanted to thank you for having me on today. I really enjoyed talking to both of you.
Thank you, and thank you for your time as well. Have an amazing Thanksgiving holiday, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Maybe if you're ever in town here, Elliot will bring you by.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
Thank you both, gentlemen.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Terry. Thank you as well, Elliot. We'll have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, happy
right?
Thanksgiving to everybody. Be all safe out there. Be careful, don't eat too much.
That's right. And for the love of God, don't blow up your house trying to fry that
Please
turkey.
do not fry your
in the
turkeys
garage.
and blow the house like that.
Yeah, don't be that guy. All right, 9:57.
19th and 20th, with the amazing help of a fundraiser and help from community members and patients, they've gotten the facility back up and running. One of the owners of the business said it's even more amazing considering insurance did not cover the flood damage. The emergency sirens in Roswell, Dexter, and Hagerman, set off to alert people to weather-related or other emergencies, are scheduled to be tested this afternoon, right about noontime. All the sirens regularly tested the first Monday of each month. In an actual weather emergency, the purpose of the sirens is to warn folks who are outside to get in a building as severe weather approaches. And a quick sports note, Roswell got off to a quick start and never let up, defeating the Artesia Bulldogs at the Wool Bowl for the state football title and denying the Bulldogs a three-peat in New Mexico's 5A division. The final score was 41-22. Artesia was trying for their 33rd state title in 5A competition. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. It took a year, but the Roswell Coyotes got a little redemption, a lot of redemption in the Class 5A championship game. This was a rematch of last year's 5A title game, which Artesia won. This time, it is Roswell winning by a score of 41-22. It's the 8th overall state title for the Coyotes. Artesia was seeking its 33rd state title. Quarterbacks Jacob Palomino for Roswell and Isaac Cazares for Artesia traded touchdowns in the early going until it was a 14-12 game. Then Palomino hit Mason Greathouse with a touchdown pass, and then Palomino got a big touchdown run right before half, and Roswell was up 28-15, and that paved the way to the victory for the Coyotes in the second half. Congratulations. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 50 to 55 on the afternoon high today, with high pressure over the Four Corners and the Central Rockies. We'll be getting sunshine. Overnight, a little fog possible for a few areas. We'll be in the low to mid 40s. And then for Tuesday, we're expecting more cloud cover. Quick low pressure system moving through. No rain with that, but we'll be in the upper 50s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
I'm Rich Thomason. The U.S. will be sending $725 million worth of new weapons to Ukraine, to include counter-drone systems as well as anti-personnel landmines. For the longest time, the White House line was that President Biden would not pardon his son Hunter for tax evasion and his conviction in a federal gun possession case. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre asked about it repeatedly.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
Somehow that no turned into a yes.
In the waning weeks of his presidency, Joe Biden used his authority to pardon his son and spare him a possible prison sentence for federal felony gun and tax convictions. On several occasions, the president had said he would not pardon his son or commute his sentence after his convictions in the two cases in Delaware and California. In a statement, the president said no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion then Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. Greg Clugston, Washington.
President-elect Trump calls the pardon covering a 10-year span a miscarriage of justice. Some pretty rosy predictions for Cyber Monday shopping.
The National Retail Federation coined the term for the Monday after Black Friday in 2005. Even though e-commerce is now part and parcel of many people's regular routine, Cyber Monday continues to be the biggest online shopping day of the year, thanks to steady discounts and a fair amount of hype. Several major retailers actually started their Cyber Monday promotions over the weekend.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House reporting. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 165 points, the NASDAQ 151 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
This might be a sort of fence-mending mission.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is visiting Ukraine for the first time in more than 2.5 years. As he stepped off a train in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, Chancellor Scholz was greeted by a delegation of Ukrainian officials before he left in a car. The visit comes just weeks after he was criticized by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for having a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Their call came at a time of widespread speculation about what the new administration of President-elect Donald Trump will mean for Ukraine. Scholz said that in his meeting with Zelensky, he will announce further military supplies this month, totaling 650 million euros. He said that Ukraine can rely on Germany. We say what we do and we do what we say. I'm Karen Shamas.
56 people killed as security forces tried to quell unrest during a soccer match in southern Guinea's largest city. News and analysis, townhall.com. On the heels of Black Friday, this is Cyber Monday, and tomorrow has a name as well.
Giving Tuesday was created to encourage people to give back and donate to charity after all the days of consumerism that come before it. Philanthropist Gene Shafaroff says giving is far greater a reward than receiving.
The idea of also giving to underserved communities, to animal welfare groups, to people that really need some money helps people.
Bill Sullivan with the Samuel Waxman Cancer Research Foundation says besides taking donations, they're also doing an auction for Giving Tuesday.
I would say, between 5 and 8% of their income comes from Giving Tuesday.
Julie Walker, New York.
9 Volkswagen plants on the home turf in Germany are seeing rolling 2-hour strikes by workers. Those workers upset over pay cuts as well as factory closures. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Thank you, Roy. Happy Monday. Welcome back to it. Back to the grind, so to speak.
Yep.
Kids back to school, going back to work. The holiday of Thanksgiving now officially over as we move on to Christmas time.
Yes, we had like a nice run of holiday movies on Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So got to watch the Grinch, both the old school version and the new version. Watched which new version? The CGI version, the animated version. Okay. Not the Jim Carrey version. That thing's god awful. That is superior. Those movies give me nightmares. That and the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat.
Oh yeah, that's nightmare fuel.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which, by the way,
they had a marathon of it.
Did you see that they made a new one?
You know, is that real? Because I saw that, and
it might be an ad.
I think it's for a commercial. Yeah, I don't think it's for an actual reboot.
I just saw the thing that said the Griswolds or the kids are coming back in, or some crazy guests are coming back into the Griswold house.
Yeah, I saw that online. But yeah, I don't think it's a movie. I think at best it's maybe a Super Bowl ad or something, or some kind of commercial.
That's pretty early ad for Super Bowl. Maybe like a Verizon thing or like maybe a Christmas Day.
I think they paid all the cast to come do an ad for whoever whatever their product they're hacking.
More power to them, because I mean Chevy Chase, I've heard, is just these days is just unworkwithable. He just is crotchety.
How old is he now?
I mean, he's
70s,
70 something probably.
Yeah, he's got to be in his 70s, and he was never known to be easy to work with guy.
he's there's plenty of reports about and stories about
way from back from
his
SNL
workwithability. His workwithability, yeah. Well, he just always thought of himself far too highly. Like he thought, I am the star of the show essentially.
Yeah. Well, and let's face it, he ain't wrong in some circles.
Sure.
I mean, we ain't watching vacation movies without Chevy Chase.
No, that's true. But once it's sort of like how celebrities or stars have their time and then move on. He never wanted to move on.
His head got way too, and he burned a lot of bridges, and quite frankly, I would argue if he played ball, Community would have been a much better show.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he just let them cook and just played along, that would have been amazing.
That being said, Dan Harmon is also almost equally unworkwithable from what I've heard.
Sure. But
he tends to drink on set and berate his
You wonder
cast.
how much of that begats each other.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if you remember this movie or not. There was a movie that came out in the 80s called War of the Roses.
I remember the
with
name.
Kathleen. I think it was Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas. I feel it was like when they were in their groove of making movies together.
Right.
The movie was basically about a marriage, and then it just turns into who begats who to next, and it basically turns two relatively normal people into the most hateful monsters on the planet. And so sometimes you're just like the circumstance creates itself. So.
Which and I guess a more modern version of that is there's a show called I think it was on Apple TV Plus. Matter of fact, called Beef. And if you get a chance, you should check it out. It's only one season. They're working on a second season now. But basically, this one situation where a guy essentially backs into a woman's car and then takes off, and that becomes this snowball.
Spirals into
Eventually, people die, and there's
basically, it's
couples
basically a non-comedic version of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Right. And there's some funny moments in there, but boy, is it pretty messed up.
Funny when you're on the outside looking in them.
Yeah. And a lot more going, holy crap.
Yeah. But speaking of the movie, this is, and I don't know, I haven't watched the movie in a while, so I probably need to rewatch it before I definitely make this statement. But as of right now, yeah, that's the trend now. On these TNT and TBS and all these channels, 24 hours of Christmas Vacation, 24 hours of A Christmas Story, 24 hours of Elf, 24 hours of this. All right, I'll give you that. I'm fine with that. That's how we want to play it. But give me this. On Thanksgiving Day, give me 24 hours of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Right?
If we're going to go down this route, let's go down this route.
Now, in fairness, though, is that a movie that you really want to sit down and watch on network?
Yeah, there's a lot of editing.
Well, there's one specific scene that would probably have to be completely cut out.
It wouldn't be funny anymore.
No.
And then, yeah.
It would just be a Dotson.
Put this way, the lady from Office Space, accounts payable need to speak.
Yep.
Isn't that the same lady?
Yep,
I think
same lady.
at the rental car.
The receptionist from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yes, that's right. She was in Ferris Bueller's
Sportos, motorheads,
Yes.
wastoids, dweebies.
She's the
Someone got a case of the Mondays.
Yep.
Yeah, her. Just do rental car scene, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and then you'll know exactly.
I want a car.
Yeah, that seemed to be very hard to do on network.
Ford.
Gobble gobble.
But I, still, top 5 funniest scenes in all of cinema is the scene where Candy and Martin are in bed together.
Oh.
And where's your hand between the 2 pillows? Those aren't
pillows.
Top 5 funniest to this day. Still one of the things that makes me laugh. And to be honest, in those same genres, Steve Martin, because the other one's the jerk, where he's getting shot at in the can. Stay away from the can.
He's mad at these cans. That movie goes kind of off the rails in the middle of it, though.
Oh, it does.
With the whole invention thing and the disco room. And
but just in its simple stupidness is so funny.
He brings it back with the whole, the I only need this scene.
Yeah.
And then, the Thermos song
this
and all that.
book, and that's all I need.
I've still been looking for the best pizza in a cup, and I can't find it.
Maybe that's your thing to start. Pizza in a cup.
Cup of pizza.
Get a cup of pizza. Oh man! But
I mean, I'm sure they did the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles marathon in the past.
Maybe
on some network. I'm sure someone has done it.
And this is a something relatively new in the lexicon of things they've done in the last 10 years. That's not something I remember doing. Marathons of anything like that. That's like been a thing, and now, like Paramount, like pretty much if you've never seen Yellowstone before, just wait for a holiday.
Yeah.
And they're going to show you everything of Paramount, like they just did for Thanksgiving. They'll do it again for Christmas, I'm sure. Here in a couple months. They'll start about 2 days out. Watch every episode from the beginning.
I don't know if they do this, but they should. You remember how they should take a page out of cable broadcasting and just give people free streaming weekends.
Yeah.
Or like if you just download the app, you can stream Netflix for free for a weekend.
I agree.
Do they still do that like on satellite and cable where you're
would hope.
Hey, you got HBO free for the weekend.
Right.
And I remember you've told the stories about
was a
your
magical
dad.
time, man.
Your dad literally VCRing every movie on the HBO free preview week. Because they stepped up their game for those. I liked them too. Because we already had HBO, but I knew, I was like, oh, it's going to be nothing but good movies for the next 3 days because they step up their game. And sure enough, some of the best movies of the time were always playing for that 3 days straight.
Somewhere, my mom still has the 3-drawer wood and gray plastic slide out video cassette holder that for some reason everybody had growing up. Everybody had
one,
the same thing.
But it was not video cassettes. It was audio cassettes.
Nice. Nice.
Matter of fact, it might still be in my house somewhere. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I junked it or if it's still in the
I would love to just get my hands on that that container because there's so much randomness in it. It was 48 Hours, The Last Boy Scout, Buzz Bucket. It was the weirdest 3 movies you could possibly have on one cassette.
If you popped Last Boy Scout on right now, I'd sit down and just watch and enjoy it. It's been so long since I've seen it. We're getting our butt kicked by the inventor of Scrabble. A night fine dame. I edited it for radio, but one of my favorite lines from that movie is Damon Wayans goes, "We're getting our blank kicked by the inventor of Scrabble."
I still remember him. It was The Color Purple, A River Runs Through It, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, that's a tougher one.
That was like I said, they're very odd trios of movies.
Wow, you guys are old.
That's a tougher 3 to sit through. Roger Rabbit's fine. A River Runs Through It. Oh. Color Purple's another one that's
Color Purple, you can gain some enjoyment, but not much, especially not when you're a 10-year-old.
Well, yeah. I mean, from an adult brain, it's fine. But yeah, from my kid brain, I have no desire to watch that movie. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever to this day sat through that whole movie. And I sure as hadn't sat the reboot or the version they did a couple of years ago. I just have no desire to see
Forgot
the movie.
they rebooted it.
Nothing no.
Well, in fairness, you're not the target demo.
You're right. Well, but there's certain movies, like if you're just trying to, I just don't mess with them. I'm out.
Yeah, it's not for you, Mike.
But it's just, no, it's for everybody. You know, if you're going to play that card, I've watched Roots.
I don't actually
like
know
Roots.
what I'm talking
You want to play
about.
that card. All right, you want to play that card. I just don't care about the movie. It has nothing to do with the subject matter. It's just a bunch of people crying and it's depressing. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
What was the other, not Roots, but the one that came after it? Was it called Queen? I think.
I don't even remember.
It was another miniseries.
Yeah.
We watched that one. That's
Yeah.
My mom was in love with Alex Haley. Like she
Yeah.
loved his work, all of it.
I put it in the same area where, like, I've seen The Passion of the Christ. I don't need to watch it again.
Right, exactly.
I've seen Schindler's List. I don't need to watch it. You know what I mean? I'm good.
But have you
Color
seen the
Purples,
director's
I've seen enough.
cut?
I've seen enough of Color Purple to know I don't want to see it again. I've seen, probably seen. I've never sat down and watched it from start to finish, but I've always walked in on it about 100 times, and it's at certain scenes. So by the time I've done that enough, I've probably pretty much seen the movie.
Right.
Anyway, just don't want to see it again. I'm good.
I understand.
It's like the DVD guy from Family Guy.
Mhm.
He's like, have you seen the director's commentary version and full widescreen? And
Why would I torture myself for that?
you haven't lived till you've seen.
That's still one of my favorite jokes in The Simpsons is when they find the postman with director's commentary, and it's just Costner going, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry. This is horrible. I'm so sorry."
We got to get the hour going, but I am curious that lady just retired for The Simpsons, who did a bunch of voices. So how are they going to fill that void with her? Are
Usually
they just killing
get,
off all them characters?
No,
or?
usually they get somebody like with Rick and Morty.
Nancy?
Justin Roiland, huh?
Nancy Cartwright?
I think it was Cartwright, or it was.
No, I don't think it was
Roswell.
her. I think it was one of the other ones.
It was one of them. But anyways, like with Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty, they managed to find somebody, two separate actors, one for Morty and one for Rick, that were able to do the parts.
Gotcha.
Well.
Yeah, imagine life goes on. I mean, how many Tony the Tiger voices we heard over the 100 years?
There's enough impressions.
How many
but
Optimus Primes out there?
of course, we're going to be sitting there, ear to the ground, listening to. Does it sound different?
Right. Yeah, but it's Simpsons. That's a little different.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to replay our interview. We had Greg Birch talking, gave us an art update about a week or two ago here, so we're going to play that for you here in just a bit. But before we do that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 50 to 55 on the afternoon high today, with high pressure over the Four Corners and the Central Rockies. We'll be getting sunshine. Overnight, a little fog possible for a few areas. We'll be in the low to mid 40s. And then for Tuesday, we're expecting more cloud cover. Quick low pressure system moving through. No rain with that, but we'll be in the upper 50s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, let me refresh that. I was trying to get an interview going there and didn't refresh. Currently 42 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 60%. Winds currently out of the north at 8 miles per hour. Sunny today, upper 50s. 57 our official high today, with winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Expect some patchy, dense fog to roll in after 11 p.m. this evening. Otherwise, cloudy with an overnight low of 46 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Going to wake up to some areas of dense fog till about 11 a.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. 57 for a high tomorrow with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy Tuesday night with an overnight low of 40 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, going to wake up to some more areas of fog till about 9. Mostly cloudy early. Gradually becoming sunny with highs in the low 60s, 62 on Wednesday. Northeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy Wednesday night with an overnight low of 38 degrees. Thursday, partly cloudy and 58. Friday, partly cloudy and 62. And then a little warmer for the weekend, mostly sunny, 61 on Saturday. Sunny and 68, so pushing 70 on Sunday. All right, it is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side, we're going to play our interview with Greg Birch. Don't go away.
How do you find a roofing contractor you can trust? You can randomly pick one, cross your fingers and hope for the best. Or maybe you can ask a psychic to predict who's trustworthy. Here's a better idea. Choose one who prefers using America's most trusted roofing brand, Owens Corning. And rest easy, because Owens Corning screens their contractors for reliability, professionalism, and customer service. Why take any chances? Owens Corning, trusted contractors, proven products. For an Owens Corning preferred contractor, visit owenscorning.com/roofing.
For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today. 575-623-2273.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
It's football time. Time to lean back and enjoy the game in a new recliner. The time is now to see Glenn's Furniture during their gigantic recliner clearance sale. Choose from recliners for her, recliners for him, big man recliners, lift recliners, reclining sofas and love seats, all at clearance prices. Even if you're not a football fan, you'll love the selection and all the low prices you'll find. Plus, get free delivery and set up at Glenn's Furniture, corner of Alameda at Union, Roswell.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, artist Greg Birch back with us. Morning, Greg.
How are you, sir?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Well, we're amongst the living, so I guess that's a start.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of, we'll call $6 million man type activities for the last few months here or so.
Well, I just had my second treatment of 121,000 milligrams. So the doctor, because there was no change, he decided to do away with the third treatment. So now we're going to do, I go in the 25th and the 26th. Ain't that good? And I get to go up to 242,000.
All right.
Yeah, and this last one, man, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was a rough one, this last one. It took everything out of me.
Well, and that's probably why you get busy painting, because that's probably you can't even do that during this time? Well, I didn't know if that was your medicine a little bit.
I was finishing up that Michael Martin Murphy, and it literally brought me to tears because I started cramping up right here, and then my fingers cramped up. And so I had to put it down, and then I finally had to push through it and get it done, because I had to get this painting done, which was a commission piece. And once they get commissions, that's
paying the bills.
You either get it done or you just sit there and mope on yourself. Right?
That's right. Yeah. I get it. You got to pay the bills, and that's what pays the bills.
You got to either get it done or just sit there.
Absolutely.
Life has sympathy for nobody.
But once you kind of press through, did it kind of ease up a little bit or get a little bit?
No.
Now it's still pretty difficult.
It's actually rougher now.
Is it?
It is. This stuff is like it's eating it. It's just anything that they throw at it. It's just kind of like Pac-Man. It's just chomping away at it.
Well, maybe more gigawatts will make.
The only last thing that they're going to do is he'll set off what he called an atomic bomb inside my body, and it'll do. I guess it's the white blood cells.
Okay.
And it'll completely destroy them. I won't never have them again, ever.
Wow.
So, and within 10 minutes of taking the shot, you can get a brain disease.
Oh, that's not good either.
So there's some decisions to be made.
Right.
Luckily, I've got my mom, my 2 sisters, my brother-in-law, and I mean, I've got my support group right there that I can go to and talk to, and help me with making some of these other decisions. It's going to be,
Sure. Well,
maybe the 242 will work. We don't know. Nobody's had that much yet. So you're looking at the buffalo in the room.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. Just thinking positive and keep doing your thing, and that's all. That's life, man.
It is.
That's all we can do. And I just feel that it'll work out. I just feel that. That's what I feel. So
yeah, right now I'm just trying to find the energy because the energy is gone.
Sure.
It's just and like I said, that this ain't radiation. There's nothing like that.
Right.
There's no chemo. There's nothing like that.
Right.
But man, this last treatment, it
just
it hurt. It gave pain a new definition.
Sure. Well, we're talking immune systems and all that, and it's just when that stuff starts fighting and starts getting in there, you're literally having a war going on in the body, and you kicks your butt.
It does.
But what it does, yeah.
Cindy Sloan Butts and her husband, they took me out to lunch. They met me here in Roswell, and because she was taking a little vacation, and she's got 2 more books for me to do. So she told me, she says, you can't go dying on me. You got I'm gonna keep you busy.
She's gonna commission you for some more stuff here.
And she said that she's gonna get back into doing some, but they're funner murder mystery books.
Okay.
But they're based out of Chicago, where she's from. And first, I got to get this one, which is in Warsaw and the ghettos.
Okay.
And I'll get that one to her, and then. We're still working on the one which is the Versailles, and of course that was the signing of the Versailles.
Yep, Treaty of Versailles.
During World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Still got to work on that one. I think everybody's going to really love the cover on that one. It's pretty wicked.
Nice.
So I've still got all of that. It's just trying to find the energy to get it all done.
Sure.
And so right now that's how come really the public hasn't seen a lot of me posting as far as my paintings or stuff like that, because it's just
less time doing it. Yeah.
Well, the energy is just not there.
Sure.
Right now.
Absolutely.
I got to get it back.
Yeah. It'll come. It'll go. This too shall pass. That's the way things happen.
That's true.
And you'll get motivated or inspired, or something will register. And
we're still working on the Michael Martin Murphey. They did tell me that concert is sold out now.
All right.
It's already,
so
there's
house.
no tickets. But we're still working with his promoter, getting the piece to do it that night.
Okay.
So hopefully I can at least post some pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And get that all taken care of.
That'll be at the Spencer Theater up there.
The Spencer Theater in Alto. That'll be in December.
We'll make them treat you to dinner too. They usually put out some pretty good spreads. Of
Exactly.
Food out there when they're
exactly. I'm looking for the red carpet, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for.
I just happen to know because my father-in-law's on that board at Spencer. Like when you see that he's one of the, so I've been to a couple of them dinners, and you eat good at those things.
So I already put out and it was a joke, but I already put it out to him.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him personally, and anyway, I told him, I said, I expect to show up in a limo and the red carpet. I expect to be on that red carpet right behind him.
There you go. Stand next to that $1 million sconce there.
Yeah. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
But no, really, there's a bunch of sketches and stuff that I've put together of paintings that once I can get, I think that right now I got to build up a tolerance. I think the body has to build up a tolerance, and I'm going to be back to where I was.
Yeah.
It's just right now nothing that they're throwing at it is working, and it's just taking more out of me than putting back in.
Right.
Now, the regiment, dude, I mean, I'm straight up 220.
Yeah, I say you lost your half a grade.
I mean, I'm not even half a grade now. But the weightlifting and regiment that I'm on and stuff like that, it's starting to get a little bit painful.
Okay.
I've been noticing some different changes inside the body there that has taken place. I was showing Sean, you can still see when they give the shots, my palms are kind of blue, that you can still kind of see the veins.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they're like blue like that shirt.
Oh, wow.
Whenever they give the injection. And my veins look like something out of the Incredible Hulk. It's pretty trippy.
Now, what about diet and stuff? Is there certain things you can and can't eat? Or
yeah, basically all I've been eating for supper is mushrooms or, canned mushrooms. Canned mushrooms, you guys, all right? Or black olives, things like that. And just, they're trying to keep the system as empty as it can be, because they want everything that they're putting into it to go straight into the muscling system.
Okay.
Is what they're trying to do.
So pretty much all proteins?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
Waters, of course, I can't do enough waters because the stuff they're putting inside of me thickens the blood.
Okay.
And so that can lead to blood clots and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So I haven't had any kind of issues with that. I've been taking my treatments in 2 days, which the standard is that they've been given at the Mayo Clinic is over 5 days, and that's even on 121,000.
Okay. So they're condensing yours.
Yeah, they're speeding mine up.
Sure. So that's probably part of why you're getting hit with a lot.
He told me the other day, which I gave him this look, and whenever he was talking to me, and I understand we got to get on to some other stuff, but anyway, he told me, he said that there's been 16 cases.
Okay.
So far.
In the country? Or the world? Or
the world.
In existence. Gotcha.
16 cases.
Wow.
Out of 16 cases, 11 people got cured.
That's good odds.
Really? But we don't know the age.
But if I'm a betting man, those are pretty good odds. I'll take those numbers.
Right now, that was on 121,000 milligrams.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that if they was to do that second treatment, they would have quit.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about older people, you cannot put 121,000 in older people past that age of 60 because, they would flatline.
Too taxing on the organs.
Exactly.
Like that, yeah.
They would flatline. So you would have to give them them little bitty shots. And some of these people, they can take the shot themselves at the house.
Okay.
But the doctor wanted to do the infusion himself.
It sounds like the amount they're putting in, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't know what to begin with.
It's like, here, take this bazooka home with you.
Have fun, dude.
Right. Yeah.
Don't destroy nothing.
Don't point this at people.
But anyway, yeah. So the New Mexico Mounted Police, which to just give a little history back on it, back in 1905. There's so many dates on this thing because it wasn't regulated.
Okay.
And so you're talking about times that was even after Billy the Kid. They had a bill that they struck down that was going to be called the Mounted Patrol. And that New Mexico, because still being a territory at this time, they completely done away with. So Arizona, right? They had what they called Arizona Rangers, and then the Texas Rangers told New Mexico that they needed to have their own group of people to do something to stop this, because this was even after Billy the Kid. They even stated on paperwork, I found it, and it says that basically they said the territory's running rampant with cattle thieves, murderers, and outlaws. And basically they started this group, but whenever it was first coming in, was for Pancho Villa.
Okay.
And that's where they were stationed, was down on the border.
Okay. And plus it would make sense if Arizona's got a group, Texas got a group, and right in the creamy middle is this spot unguarded. That's where the criminals are going to go. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
We
I'm not a genius or nothing, but
we were a hot spot,
right? Yeah, exactly.
So it just goes to show that even even through history and through historians, you can say what you want to about Billy the Kid, but this was still going on even after his death.
Sure.
And
well,
so
it's New Mexico.
They were called the Mounted Patrol. So then on 1941, everything up to 1941 was unofficial. 1941 is when they gave it the official name, which then they had changed the name from patrol to police. This was back in like 1905.
Gotcha.
Things like this, but it was unofficial.
Right, but they keep the history. But now they got the paperwork to say they are legit. So.
And what I was told about them is that these are all, what do you want to call them? Giving of your own time.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Like a volunteer?
Volunteers.
Okay.
They're all volunteers. They pay for their own stuff. Is what I was told.
Gotcha.
Their uniforms, the metal jackets.
So it's like a National Guard for law enforcement.
Well,
kind of thing.
But what they do is now they're supposed to be, from what I was told, the only state in the union, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They're set up that they can go in with any entity as far as law enforcement and take over their duties.
Okay.
And still be the same thing, do the same duties that they've got.
Okay.
And as far as being peace officers.
Sure. Which is kind of probably why in New Mexico, because there's always the double-edged sword of as long as you do it right, then it's sanctioned and legit. It could easily turn into vigilante justice if left to its own devices.
and I could be wrong, but right now I don't know if the number has changed. But the number that I found is that there's 98 volunteers.
Gotcha.
Is what they have.
Well, I know they still currently because
and they're based here in Roswell.
Yeah, because I know one of our engineers. He's I think he's former Mountain Patrol. I don't think he does anymore. But yeah, he used to do all that too.
So here's the painting.
Oh, now we got all the history talking. We haven't talked about the. Wow, check that out. That is so cool. I love the how the flags infuse into the sand like the desert there, where it's kind of that's pretty cool. I love that.
And then the badge, like I said, I put 1941 on the badge because that was the year that we knew that's when
they're officially sanctioned.
That's
when they became legit.
Exactly. On paper.
Absolutely. That is really cool. Now is the landscape is this a particular place in mind, or is this just general New Mexico?
This would be going south of the Oregon mountains.
Okay. All right.
Down as they would have circled back around as they was getting ready to take on with Pancho Villa, which at this point, you got to understand, they still had mounted, which they called mounted cars.
Gotcha.
There was another section of them.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to keep this more authentically Western.
Sure.
But also give it that little bit of a twist that I always do with my paintings.
Well, it's art. And you want to share and get people. And this is something that, in case folks haven't noticed, that pretty much all of Greg's art does is, as much as it is to give you thoughts and emotions about the art, the way it's portrayed, it also, all of it tells a story or gives you a history or draws interest in what, you look at that and someone said, hey, what is that? And you start patrolling. Next thing you know, someone might go actually do some research on the Mounted Patrol or do something, or, same thing with all the, the Billy the Kid and your Pat Garrett and these various lost to history buildings and things that you've painted. All of it A, is to preserve history, but B, to someone looks at it and says, that's pretty cool. And someone says, well, that's a house used to be here. And then next thing you know, they start doing a little digging, and that's how history gets spread.
Exactly. And, there's, on the mounted police, there's everything that I tried to do, there's a historian, and me and him did not get in touch. First of all, this flood hit, and I knew that they was probably going to be so busy like everybody else.
It's been a while since I've asked you that. How's everything in your world, that flooding wise? I know we've been talking medically and stuff, but how'd you do with the flood?
The field across from us, it blew in all kinds of trash.
Yeah. But how'd your home
it's still there?
And artwork, how did that do? All the artwork?
It's good. It's good. It's good.
That's well, people can be replaced, and I know it's artwork really can't, but you could repaint it, I guess, but I'm glad that got preserved.
Well, I did lose a piece to some real good friends of the family, the Purcellas. Their place burned up in Rio Dosa when it burned, and I had that. They had a painting of mine, and that burned in with that.
Gotcha.
So they put that in on their.
Well, that just made the rest of them more
but-
valuable.
Right. Exactly.
You're in that creamy middle world where it's like, yeah, now there's one less that makes the others more valuable.
But they were kind of like me. It was. I really loved the piece like them.
Gotcha.
It was one of them pieces that was really sentimental to me.
Yeah, you don't paint it for the value monetarily. You paint it for, that you look at every painting and it evokes a story, a memory, a thing to you.
Yeah.
And so where the place you were when you painted that's what you're thinking about.
Exactly. Yeah. And giving back and all of that stuff. I know we're probably running out of time.
No, we still got a few minutes. I just if I don't look, next thing it'll be 10 o'clock. I'm like,
right.
Uh-oh.
But that's like all the nurses up there that treat me and stuff like that. They said that the doctor showed them my artwork, and it's like, it just took their breath away. And, that's humbling in itself. And, they do it after the treatment. And I'm like, next time do that before the treatment.
I need this going in, man.
Yeah.
I need this as tackling fuel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's kind of like that pat on the back that kind of gives you that fuel, but they do it afterwards. And they're like, because each nurse, not the same one always gives me the infusion. Each one will switch up.
Gotcha.
And so far 3 of them has came up, and they've said, yeah, doctor, my doctor, he showed us your paintings and stuff, and they're like, man, you're pretty talented. And I was like, well, thank you. I don't do it for the
sure
that,
but it's nice to be liked.
Well, and they're
Sure.
I know that most people they've got their idea of me, but I don't like to pat myself on the back.
Sure.
I really don't.
But at the end of the day, when it comes to art, and that's part of the nature of your life. If you don't, because it's painting is a lot like radio in some ways. And what I mean by that is it is something that all of us have an opinion on, and a lot of people think they can do it. You know what I mean? How many times do they look like literally someone just threw a bucket of paint at a canvas and said, here's art? And a lot of people think, I could do that, make $1 million. And no, you can't. But that's another story.
Right.
Radio is the same thing. They get on there and they think, oh, I could do that. You should do this. I was like, here you go. Have a seat and kill 3 hours. Have fun with that.
Yeah,
and
that's
they will
gotta be
all
hard.
fall on their faces. 99% of those folks will do that. So,
and that's one of them deals.
So I understand what you're coming from, because it is one of those things, but at the same time, you really are. It does take a skill. It does take this thing, and not a lot of people could do it. And so yes, you do need to. I know it's because I'm the same way. You don't like the compliments. You don't like, it's just no. I don't want to be that center of attention.
Guy.
Yeah, but at the same time, when the work is speaking that, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? And these people aren't saying it to just. I don't think they're just saying it to feel, but I think they really see it and say, I really feel the need to tell this guy's really good.
Yeah,
and
they all say, depending on some of these paintings, it puts them at the time, it puts them at the place, and that's what they value. And that makes me feel good, and that's why I do it, because that's why I spend so many hours doing research. And I mean, I can easily spend anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 weeks just doing research before I even think about doing a painting.
Sure. And conversely, if you were looking for the payday, you could just whip something together in half that time and probably make some money off of it, if that's what your end game was. You know what I mean?
I've got 2 galleries that's really looking at me up in Albuquerque, but it's one of them deals. Do you want to get mixed up in that right now, kind of a thing?
Sure.
So like I said, there's just lots of things that's out there that is,
And I also probably would argue in your world, because this is people with money should control things. That's just how life works. But you watch a lot of movies and a lot of things and stories about the lives of the 1%, the people that, and quite frankly, they're the ones that are paying the big bucks for the types of art that people put the money in. Ultimately, when Picasso rolls in, it ain't Joe Blow buying a Picasso at the street here. This is
exactly,
exactly. And so I always get this. What makes them more qualified to deem what is good art? And so you deal in a world that, like, part of me kind of says is like the people that really the people's opinions that you have to get. I'm just like, your work is too good to be put up, and many other artists. I'm not singling you out, but many. The work and craft is too good to let somebody that just happened to make a lot of money and maybe computers or chicken, I don't know, whatever it is. And you know what I mean? It's that. What qualifications other than you made a lot of money in another industry and you're willing to pay for it? So yeah, I get that, but what's stopping you from buying a check mark on a sticky note for $1 million? And now that sets the standard.
Well, there's a lot of critiquers out there, and once you hit these museums, there's what they call a standard of quality.
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, that was one thing that really made Hitler mad. Was he thought that he was the next Picasso?
Right.
He thought his artwork was good.
I know we always run the jokes that, like, if someone just liked his art, we probably wouldn't have had World War II.
But when you look at it, he was told there's no depth, there's no perception. If there is none of those qualities in a painting, in other words, it doesn't look like that the painting is pulling you in, pulling you out,
right,
making you go sideways. If there's none of this dimension to it, then that goes down to a value that is considered hobby.
Sure.
Because I'm sorry, I didn't write the book on it.
Right.
It's what the standard is.
Do it in food terms. It's the difference between using the Kraft macaroni and cheese box versus you making your own pasta, shredding your cheese, doing all that. That's the difference between what he's talking about here.
Yes.
If you looked at a painting world.
And so that's how come I like to go in and talk with some of these critiquers at some of these museums. And, it's not to belittle them. Mm-hmm. That's not what it's about. But it's about, okay, you haven't picked up a paintbrush.
Right.
And most of your study has came from a book.
Sure.
Now, you're judging the standard by a book, because I know 2 Japan artists that hands down should have won this competition this year that I was going to go to.
Right.
They hands down. And not just because we talk, but their work is that good. And true, we always laugh back and forth. We do, because they're sitting there and they're like, first of all, they don't want to paint against me because they got one style and they cannot change from that one style.
Gotcha.
Yet I can go from this to that.
They're the fastball pitcher. You're the guy with 4 or 5 pitches.
Yeah, I'm the changeup.
Right.
I'm the changeup.
They're Roger Clemens. You're more Norland Ryan.
Exactly. There you go.
But I love it. But that part's okay. It's just that I just feel like people with a lot of money get a lot of say in an industry that, quite frankly, they should not have a lot of say in.
Well, one of them is Jay-Z.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's a connoisseur of paintings that you would not think.
Sure.
Yet, look who he's wrapped up with.
But I'll at least give him, he's an artist. I mean, I'm not saying that qualifies him, but
right.
At least he's in the creative world,
yeah,
as opposed to some guy that worked Wall Street numbers and
true that.
You know what I mean?
True that.
That's I will at least give him a little bit more. All right, he's got a creative brain. Maybe he's he's going to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to.
I'm not going to have him do my taxes. I'll have the other guy do my taxes. But when it comes to art, you know what I mean.
and I'm trying to find people to pick his brain because there's a couple of pieces that I know that has been mentioned to me.
Sure.
From a couple of individuals, and I'm trying to reach out to him that. Hey, maybe there might be a couple of pieces. I mean, yeah, I keep looking at that dragon. I may have to take that away from you. But no.
That was a gift from Nook from Thailand. It's my frog.
Wow. Wow.
Actually, if it has a hidden, well, it's not hidden. He's got a big thing, but if you do this correctly, hold on, I didn't do it correctly. Sounds like a frog.
Now that can get annoying, dude.
Talk about my toys.
That was one of those deals where somebody had too much time on their hand right there.
Yeah, she brought that back from Thailand for me.
Wow. But that's cool, though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But no, I'm trying to reach out on that side of it. I mean, there's those late nights, and when you yell at me, hey, you need to get some rest. I probably should have listened to the doctors, but I went out there and after I had that first treatment and worked on my car, and that I probably shouldn't have done that.
That kind of put well, you got to remember, you got to give your body the best chance to fight it, and sometimes it means sitting on the bench for a little bit.
Yeah, but sometimes sitting down is hard.
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Yeah, I always want to go. You know?
I get it. Sometimes you gotta.
You got no choice.
Put your stubbornness aside, because I'm that same brain. I'm the same one. Dang, I got to shut it down, or otherwise I'm going to kill myself. So,
and so, like I said, hopefully, yeah, that would be pretty awesome. That's one of them deals reaching out there way big. I think that's casting your line out way far.
Absolutely.
To get tied in with JC and Jay-Z.
Well, it's kind of like.
Hopefully he don't get arrested.
With that Metallica, right? Yeah, I don't know. A lot of artists might be nervous right around. Yeah. How good of friends are you with Puffy there? All right, never mind.
Why don't you come on into court?
Oh, you went to church? Come on.
Come on in and have a seat.
You didn't go to no Puffy party? Come on. Very good. We're running out of time here. Is there any more artwork stuff we definitely wanted to share before we wrap things up here?
The main one right now for the end of the year is the Michael Martin Murphy.
Yes. And we'll get you in right before we come close to that, too, just to kind of give folks a little reminder.
Yeah, and that way that you could see it in person on there. The public can see it, because I haven't released it out on public yet because I'm still in talks.
Yes.
But I will post it on the internet and then try to set up a time to come in and talk with you if we get this.
If we release it publicly, some of y'all might spill the beans and he gets wind that he's getting this.
Well,
thing.
now apparently his promoters showed him.
Oh, okay. I thought they were going to surprise him with it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And he told me in an email he wrote me the other day and said that he was fixing to talk to Murph, and that night, and they were going to go into discussions about it, and so I've just kept it under wraps.
Okay.
And
I guess they need to give him time to find a spot in his home to put it up in, or wherever you're going to.
Well, he's also got a bunch of concerts going on right now too. He also does this chuck wagon thing up there at Taos at his ranch.
Oh, cool.
Near Red River. And if I don't get to do it here, maybe I can do it up there.
Sure.
And
over a plate of beans.
Well,
chuck wagon dinner.
Those chuck wagon dinners are pretty daggone good.
Oh, I know.
Man.
Like, if y'all ever go to a little bit closer here, but if you ever go to the Flying J Ranch during the summers for their, which they put on an amazing show, but that dinner's been the same for as long as I can remember, and it's a pretty darn good dinner. The chicken, that brisket, the beans, the applesauce, the biscuit, the cake, it's the same for as long as I remember, and I love it every time I get it. So.
Exactly. But as far as anything big, no. Yeah. Right now, it's all dealing with all these treatments and all this kind of stuff, and pretty much everything has kind of slowed down.
Sure.
So you may see a few odd and end paintings that's just going to be fun.
Sure.
Like the dragon one, some different things like that, but they're not going to anybody. The Las Vegas had to be put off because they got all that snow. They've still got FEMA up there from when they got flooded.
Sure.
So they was going to put me up in a hotel, but all the hotels are full. everything is.
They've got bigger fish to fry.
Exactly. Right now,
Yep.
that painting is on like the last of the bigger issues that's going on up there right now. Kind of like here.
I wonder, maybe that's something, I'm not telling art, but just a thought. Like, once you feel up for painting again, we got all these videos and photos of from the flood. Maybe if you're remembering the Roswell flood paintings, that'd be kind of,
well,
maybe. And I know that's not your thing, but I'm just saying that, I think of history, and I think, a couple of those might be pretty cool to see, just some of that, just to show people that impact.
To tell you the truth, I've already taken 3 pictures of places.
Gotcha.
That, like I said, when I said I had sketches.
Sure.
It's filling the time, and it is of the flood.
Sure.
And them, I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin to donate them to.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's just even if it's...
and I don't know if it should be something that should be a fundraiser for individuals, for families. I don't know.
Sure.
But I think something should be done.
Well, even if it ends up at the Roswell Museum or the Historical Society's archive facility.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that. Who knows? But I don't know. It just
I've got them in the works.
As a guy that you chronicle history and stuff, and I just feel like this might be something that you would probably want to do in some way, shape,
because
or form.
I did. I took a drive, and there was trust me, there was a few places kind of like probably what you got to see.
Yeah.
And it just it breaks your heart.
I don't know art that well, but I was just thinking, how they talk about like infusing like 9/11, like welders infuse some of the 9/11 into. Do a watercolor with some of the flooding from the water. If you had some, and make a watercolor with that. That'd be kind of interesting concept. I have no idea, but anyway.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. We will.
Folks, if you follow Greg Birch on Facebook, 2Gs, Greg Birch, and probably put Greg Birch, Roswell, New Mexico, and it should pop right up there. That way you can like and follow. If when life is getting a little simpler for Greg here, he does commission work and things. So if you need some stuff like that, like I said, he's taking a little hiatus at the moment here, but he will be back doing those things. So if you got some stuff, he can take care of that for you.
You betcha.
And put it this way, he kind of likes a challenge. So
big time.
Hit him up and ask him. You'd be surprised what he would paint. Good deal.
True that.
Excellent. Well, Greg, we're glad to see you're still living life. It's not to your best yet, but we're glad to see you're doing well.
And I thank you for all the wishes and the prayers.
Anytime.
That you do.
That's what we. It's
when you give me the shout out, and then, like I said, Monday and Tuesday, 8 a.m.
We'll be praying.
I'll be back in there. That's the big boy, man. That's 242 right there.
Well, I hope
that's a number that just sticks in my head right now. 242.
Yeah,
that's what I was telling my mom. That's part of the reason why I had to get out of town. And I just
sure, absolutely
get that head right.
Well, it's gonna happen. It's gonna go. At this point, you just got to ride the train.
True that.
Control it, and
but I don't like this train.
I get you.
This train sucks.
As a guy who's a little, I know exactly. But this is when I get in these moments. That's what I tell myself. It's like you're just a passenger, man. You got to just.
I feel like I'm on this stagecoach that's not even on the road, man. We're just on the rocks.
Right. I hear you, but you got this, and we're praying for you, and we can't wait to see what's next coming out of the brain of Greg Birch.
Hear that.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, it is 8:58. We're going to do a quick break. Check them out. TV.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find them all there. That's going to do it for us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. Take care.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden issuing a pardon to his son.
Hunter Biden was soon to be sentenced in a gun possession case in Delaware and a California case accusing him of not paying over $1 million in taxes, to which he pleaded in September. But despite repeated promises he would not pardon his son, President Biden has done just that. The president released a statement saying that he believes in the justice system, but also believes raw politics led to a miscarriage of justice. The move comes less than 2 months before President-elect Donald Trump returns to the White House. I'm Jackie Quinn.
After pardoning his son, Hunter, President Biden is making a visit to sub-Saharan Africa to showcase a U.S.-backed railway project across 3 countries. Biden's trip promotes the Libido Corridor development in Zambia, Congo, and Angola. Also at townhall.com, Donald Trump planning to nominate a new FBI director, even though Christopher Wray still has 3 years left on the job. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
Over the weekend, the president-elect announced that Kash Patel, one of his most vocal and loyal allies, is his pick to run the FBI. The announcement means that current FBI Director Christopher Wray can either resign from the job or wait to be fired once Trump takes office in January. FBI directors are appointed to 10-year terms, a length of time that extends beyond 2 consecutive presidential terms and is meant to give the agency independence. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And parts of the Great Lakes region are seeing new snow, and they're facing the prospect of even more of that this week. Stocks are mixed, the Dow dropping 110 points, the NASDAQ composite up 201. More at townhall.com.
Trump's victory is just the first battle. The deep state stranglehold on our economy took 50 years to build, and they won't let it go without fighting. The damage runs deeper than most Americans realize. A corrupt monetary system, a national debt exploding beyond control, a crumbling dollar. The deep state spent 50 years rigging our system. Now their economic time bomb is nearly unstoppable. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bennett. I'm here to remind you, you are not powerless. Throughout history, gold has been a safe haven from economic corruption. My trusted allies at Birch Gold Group know this. That's why they help Americans diversify their IRAs and 401ks into gold. To see how it works, get a free info kit on gold IRAs. Text the word PREPARE to 989898 right now. Don't let 50 years of globalists sabotage destroy your savings. Text the word PREPARE to the number 989898 and protect your hard-earned savings. Again, that's PREPARE to 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has promised Ukraine military equipment worth nearly $700 million during a surprise visit to Kyiv.
This is Chancellor Scholz's first solo visit to Ukraine since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. The Chancellor said Ukraine could rely on Germany. We say what we do, he posted on social media, and we do what we say. Chancellor Scholz has a mixed reputation here. After the United States, Germany is by far the largest supplier of military assistance. But there's been frustration at the Chancellor's reluctance to supply long-range missiles. He's also a vocal opponent of the idea of Ukraine joining NATO while still at war.
BBC correspondent Paul Adams. At least 56 people have died, dozens more injured as security forces tried to quell clashes during a soccer match in southern Guinea's largest city. The stampede broke out in Zerkor, coming after a disputed penalty call that angered fans. Breaking news at townhall.com. A white Kansas City, Kansas police detective who's accused of sexually assaulting black women and girls and terrorizing those who tried to fight back is facing trial this week. The charges against 71-year-old Roger Golubsky are part of a tangle of cases tied to decades of alleged abuse. A young Colorado girl is out of the hospital after being attacked by a coyote. She and a friend mistook for someone's pet dog.
The 4-year-old girl approached the coyote that was crouching behind a tree near Colorado Springs. The animal lunged, grabbing the back of her head and causing serious injuries before her father chased it away. The child spent the night in the hospital, and now Colorado Parks and Wildlife officials are hunting for the coyote. Without the girl's father's quick and decisive response, wildlife officials say the outcome could have been much worse.